Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Let's Try Roleplay.
In the 1980s radio!
I know, it does sound like...
Do we want to have a different name for this podcast? Let's Try Roleplay at the cinemas.
Please never do that. No. In the back seat of the cinemas. The back row.
Let's Try Roleplay. What are those two doing?
What was that noise?
So, I am Connor and I will be... Today we are doing something very special. We are not playing Dungeons and Dragons. We're being slightly less nerdy today and we are reviewing the film Avengers Infinity War.
Do you know what? I don't know why, but before you did that, I thought you were going to go into like I don't know why.
Yeah. Feel like a woman.
I was like, what?
So today with us we have the wonderful James.
Sup, bitches?
We have the wonderful Robin.
Hello.
And the wonderful RDM Henry.
Henry is currently in hospital having his sex transition.
Is he?
His gender reassignment, yeah.
He told me he was at a exclusive symposium for DMs.
Yeah, same thing.
No, he said he's doing a talk on mimics.
He's being a mimic.
He's having a vagina mimic put in.
Oh my god. Oh, that's bad.
No, but...
Please take that away.
Isn't there a film about that, isn't there?
Why did I...
No, teeth!
So we do not have a Henry with us today, but instead we have another person who will name herself now.
It's me! I'm Stacey!
Hello, Stacey!
One of our very few listeners.
I like your number one fan.
We have dragged James's flatmate from next door.
She's not my flatmate. We like to bring fans in.
They kidnapped me. Help, I'm tied to this chair.
But anyway, shall we talk about Infinity War?
Oh.
Yes.
Right, we will have to do a disclaimer first. So we went to the midnight showing.
I didn't.
And then decided
I had
to
an
go...
exam the next day.
But then we decided to go
Poor show,
at
Stacey.
4 o'clock the day after.
Yeah.
The same day.
The same day.
So
I was awake for 12 hours that day, and 5 of them were spent watching Infinity War.
I actually saw it like just once.
In which we brought the lovely Stacey with us.
Yay!
And we did get back from the first time seeing it at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're trying to decide whether we should record this there and then,
Yeah.
but we decided...
I was going to say this is the first time we've all been together to record it, but we're not. Henry's not here.
Yeah, exactly.
Henry is away and predisposed.
But... So yeah, we all... I mean, it could have been better, couldn't it?
I think Justice League better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there wasn't enough CGI'd out moustaches.
Oh, yeah, that would have pushed it for me.
Actually, there weren't enough CGI'd on moustaches. Iron Man with a moustache, when you has the nanotech.
Everyone should have had that.
Technology.
Oh wait, we should say this here. Spoilers. This is all spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So many
spoilers.
spoilers.
Don't fucking listen to this thing if you
Spoiler
don't want spoilers.
klaxons.
And also,
Spoiler
wasn't dark
alert.
enough. Like, too bright. I mean, I could actually see what was happening.
Yeah,
Not
there
good
was
with
a
that.
little bit too much humour for my
I had such a
life.
nice time, you know. It was all just
If
sunshine.
anything, I liked it too much.
Yeah. No, it was, in all seriousness, fuck me, was it good. It was so good.
It like physically hurt. As a film, I feel like I have no heart now.
I think the best thing that illustrates it is whenever we were sitting in the cinema seeing it the first time, and when everyone started turning to dust, the guy behind us just went, fuck off.
I think
No, it was when Black Panther, it was when T'Challa went, it was like, fuck off, they just made him.
What you gotta do is you gotta watch these movies with a Scottish crowd on the first night.
God.
Jesus Christ, it's the best. I mean, It speaks to the testament of this movie because we went with some of our friends that haven't seen Marvel movies much before, and we've tried to fill them in a bit before they go. And I don't think they've ever. I'm not going to say any names, but I don't think they've ever experienced clapping in the cinema before, like fucking applauding in the middle of a scene, like just like so good.
I know. I think
And you know what bit we're talking about if you've seen this movie.
when we all went to see it together, I think the only clapping was me flapping James's arm. Like, oh my god! So many moments.
So there will be absolutely no structure at all to this review because we have never done one, and our heads are just so full of I want to talk about this and this and this and
My
everything.
first podcast.
No!
Yeah.
Podcast.
So, and also, let's try roleplay. Takes virginities.
Oh, I didn't know this was our new slogan.
Right past the
But
start, isn't it?
Put that on a t-shirt, right?
Oh no!
Oh,
Some merch going on.
no, fair. So where do we want to start?
Okay, right
I'm
at
so
the beginning of the film. Like, okay, first off, like if we're gonna do this review properly, fuck me, did it like scare me when there was no opening fanfare.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
That
I
Put me
know.
off so much.
I was like,
gave me
what
chills.
the fuck?
It was
And
the
then
silence.
the distress call for the Asgardians. I was like, oh, this is so good. Apparently, that's I think one of the directors.
Kenneth Branagh. Branagh? But he's Northern Irish, and he directed
Hey.
First Thor.
and he directed the first Thor. Shakespearean actor and stuff.
Did you do the second Thor as well?
I don't
No.
think so.
But
He's the guy who did the opening speech monologue in 2012 Olympics in London. Like, and today on this day.
What?
All right. And I was
From there
like,
to an
shut up.
Asgardian distress call.
Give me some fireworks. Stop chatting Shakespeare at me.
I'm like
very
hastily
uncultured.
writing down my points of conversation.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think of the first scene?
Fucking right. So one of the things I really wanted from this, and I told you this, guys. I said in this movie, I want to see Thanos put down Hulk. I said it was
yeah.
Yeah.
we felt like it was. We thought that was going to be one of the first. Seeing Thor Ragnarok, we thought that's one of the first things we're going to see. Probably is going to be their ship and attacking the Asgardians.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to see him beat Hulk like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And fuck me, did I?
Yeah.
Because you
He
guys
was so quick.
well, because you guys had already seen it when Hulk punched Thanos and Thanos went down. I was like, ha! And then
Yeah.
no one said anything. I was like,
Oh, shit.
oh no.
Yeah. It was so fast.
So and then we had two deaths within the first about.
I know.
So
Loki deserved better. Okay?
Heimdall deserved better.
Oh,
yeah, so yeah,
God.
everyone's theories about the Soul Stone within the first 5 minutes. I was like,
That was
fuck
dead in
you,
the water.
fuck you, Marvel fans.
Yeah, if this alright, so this might not be a theory that everybody has heard of, but it's the Thanos theory for the things. Is the thing that the stone is held within makes a letter that spells out Thanos, like the Tesseract. Heimdall would have been H with the Soul Stone. The Ethos begins with an A.
Ends necklace.
Yeah, it was originally necklace for the
Time
Doctor
Stone.
Strange thing for the Time Stone, and then
was orb.
the orb for O, which is
What
Power
was the
Stone.
orb?
Orb was what
Power
they called it
Stone?
in Guardians of the Galaxy. They always
yeah,
called it
It
the
was
orb.
what was because it was like a little sphere.
Yeah, and then
Majigger.
S was the scepter,
Scepter.
the scepter or the spear, and I was just like, and it fitted. And then when Doctor Strange came out and they didn't call it the necklace, we were all a bit like, maybe not. I was so convinced it was Heimdall with his eyes because they showed him blind in Avengers
Heimdall's
2.
got some spooky dark magic though.
Yeah, Bifrost boy.
That was sick.
He's used the dark magic once before, though,
Once.
hasn't he?
At the
Right.
beginning, we never saw him do it, but in Avengers 1, when Thor turns up, they say that Loki says, the Allfather's Heimdall must have used all the Allfather's dark magic to get the Bifrost to bring you here, sort of thing.
that's-
Yeah.
So like they mention
I'm
it, but
glad
they've
we
never
got to
done
see
it
it,
before.
though.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh yeah. It kind of. I found that bit confusing at first because he just took Hulk, and my first reading I was kind of like, why of all the people, why would you not send? It seemed a bit strange to me at first.
I think they should have sent Loki as well.
I thought he just try and he seemed to be like, why would you not angle it that you could get everyone?
Yeah, get everyone
I was a bit
on
like,
the fell swoop.
what?
I know, but then you might
It
have
might
brought Thanos to Earth.
Yeah.
And then,
It might
the
have
movie's
been
over already.
Maybe we would have
Yeah.
left the movie happy.
It could have easily brought something in the way that like to move one person required so much magic, and because he was dying, like he could
Yeah.
only move one person.
Yeah.
Maybe he was trying to get Thor and he missed.
It seems
He was
strange
trying, he just didn't hit it.
because we know Hulk at this point still, Hulk, if anything, what Thor Ragnarok established was that Hulk and Banner are very, very different people.
Yeah.
Having issues.
And Banner, does Hulk actually remember any of like the Avengers stuff? Does he remember like them really, really well? Actually know them?
No,
He knows them, yeah.
He knows them,
does.
yeah, definitely.
His discussions
Hulk
with Thor-
doesn't remember Thor in Ragnarok, though.
He does.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
No,
Yeah, he
that's
does.
when he
The
first
whole discussion. No, when he comes out, he just like fights them. But when they talk to him, he's just like, we call you the dumb Avenger, and he's offended by that. So he knows who the Avengers are, and he remembers who Nat is when he goes into the thing that makes him angry, and he's like, oh yeah, Thor like mouldering fire.
I suppose
Yeah.
maybe he tried to like forget because he was the Hulk for like 2 years before Thor
Yeah.
turned up,
I
right?
think
So maybe it just jogged
He
his
knows them,
memory.
but I think the way that the Hulk and they've been doing it in the movies, I think the way it works in the comics is that like Hulk doesn't remember anything about when Banner's in control. So most of the time when Banner is with the Avengers, he's Banner, not Hulk.
Yep.
And then, and obviously, like in Thor Ragnarok, Banner couldn't remember any of the 2 years that he spent on that planet
Yeah.
because he was the Hulk for the whole time. So I think it's like this is the first time in this movie in Infinity War that we've ever seen the two interact with each other. Because when the Hulk says no, Banner knows he said no, and he's like, "What do you mean no?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like the
so
first time we've ever really
interesting.
seen that. But
That is very interesting, actually.
yeah, it's cool.
The one problem, and I said this to Robin when we came out, the one problem I did have with the first scene was that Heimdall went first, and I kind of feel that like it took away a little bit from Loki's death. I would have liked to have seen it just, building up, and then Loki's the first one that dies. You're like, oh shit, they really are taking this movie. But because Heimdall went first, I feel it sort of took it away a little bit.
Yeah.
I still felt like there was so much they could have done with Heimdall's character.
Yeah,
and
that was my
development. I
thing.
felt like there was so much potential.
I must admit, I felt almost the other way around. Like Loki's death took away from Heimdall for me.
No, but I know.
You know what?
Well, they both
Wait a
did.
minute.
They
Wait a
took
minute.
away from each other, didn't they?
No, definitely. They were very close together for two deaths.
Like-
Where
Yes.
was Korg?
I know.
Korg?
Where's Meek and Korg?
Meek's probably dead again.
My name's Korg.
Yeah.
Who are you? Thanos?
Probably is now. Probably John Green.
Want to go on my ship?
I'm sort of the leader in here. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but don't be intimidated unless you're made of scissors. Just a little bit of rock, paper, scissors, jags for you. I love that.
I would just love like a big Thanos speech, and then someone comes out, taps on his shoulders, like, "I'm starting a revolution. Here's my ship. Do you want to come?"
See that gauntlet? Can it print pamphlets? Can it print pamphlets?
I would 100% accepted Korg's death if he'd put like when he'd got the space stone and he had the power stone. If Korg had tapped on his shoulder and handed him a leaflet for the revolution, and then he just punched through him, I'd have been like, no, but yes.
Think about that. Like, where did he go?
Oh no.
They say that
Dead on like another level of the ship.
They say that half. This is a bit that I'm still kind of confused on. Still seeing it 2 times. I don't know when they say like because Thor talks about it later on that like half. So you mentioned something like half the Asgardians are still
Kill
on.
half my people or something.
But
Yeah.
it seems to me that was a bit strange because I'm like, if you were the king of your people, would you not be going back with them and bringing
Yeah.
them
Yeah, like, where did
to
he
fight?
leave them if it was half of his people?
Yes, I mean we think that
Or
is
did-
everyone dead?
Did half of his people die on Asgard, and then the ones that were
Yeah.
saved were on the ship, and then half of them also died
Yeah.
because of
No, because I've
the
watched
disintegration?
Confuse me.
I've
Got
watched
that.
a very small amount because I didn't want to get. I love watching a YouTube channel called Blind Wave. I absolutely love them. And I
Shout out
haven't.
to Blind Wave.
Yeah,
Sponsor us.
Oh, we don't need to shout them out. They're so good.
They're
But,
amazing. Really, really good.
I haven't
reviews.
watched a huge amount. I haven't watched a huge amount of their review because they always give
haven't
like
watched it.
really brilliant points that I love talking about. So I didn't watch too much of it because I didn't want to like get something in my head that would just be spurting out their ideas, not my own.
Yeah.
It's true.
But they mentioned at the beginning of their review, and I cannot remember this for myself, but some of them seem to think that the Asgardian ship was broken in half when we first see it. Like when
yeah.
Thanos is in it, he destroys half of the ship, and the other half, like,
Just floats
Remember
away.
when the
It is
Guardians
gone.
turn up, there's tons of bodies in space.
Yeah.
That would explain that, wouldn't it?
so like we don't know whether like everybody on Thor's side of the ship. But the thing is, again, Thor survived it, didn't he? And he's no more special than any. Well, not really much more special than any other Asgardian. Because they're all gods, indestructible people, sort of thing,
Yeah.
apart from sharp things, blunt things, and very big things, apparently, in all the other Thor movies. But, but you know, it's just like they're pretty resilient. So it could just be that they all got blasted off, and they apparently can all breathe in space and stuff.
Yeah.
Because watch it back, Thor doesn't. It doesn't annoy me that he breathes in space. It annoys me that he breathes in space. Like, what are you doing? which made me laugh.
Because also Valkyrie as well.
Oh, yeah.
She was sick.
She's going to be a big
Valkyrie? I loved
character.
her.
Good.
I know.
She can't be dead.
I love her so
She's
much.
too good in that. Too
She better not be
underrated.
dead. That's the final straw. For me.
Done with Marvel.
Done.
But I think they must be about there somewhere.
Yeah.
Just, unless it doesn't.
You wouldn't create characters like Valkyrie and put stuff into her backstory to then just...
Chuck her
I
away.
feel like anyone we didn't see disintegrate is fair game. So maybe they're still out there.
And then
Especially as I think Valkyrie's one of the
future Avengers type thing.
handover characters. Like I
Yes.
think she's going to pick up Thor's mantle.
Yeah.
I think she's, and I think it'd be weird for them just to have killed her off. And I think they'd have at least shown her
They've
death.
shown it.
Yeah.
Or at least shown her body
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
so you know.
Definitely.
I think you're right. Anyone who we haven't seen explicitly die, in my head, is going to be still alive
Yeah.
until proven otherwise.
Because I think Ant-Man and Wasp are both obviously still alive because
And
their movie
Hawkeye.
is next.
As well.
And Hawkeye.
But
Hawkeye's
but I mean, we don't
It's
know
not
because
happening.
the Ant-Man and the Wasp is set before Infinity
Yeah.
War.
So we
I
have
don't
no idea
know.
what's going to go on.
We
That'd
don't
be
know.
so unfortunate.
Oh, it'd be really, really funny if
Get
that,
to the
if
end
that
and
fucking
you-
movie ends and they melt to dust.
Oh, the post-credit
Jesus.
scene is them seeing everyone disintegrate and being like, what the fuck?
This is the things that I've just watched. You guys haven't seen it, have you? I've just watched the trailer for Ant-Man versus Wasp.
I haven't watched it.
And
no, I
Wasp,
haven't
sorry.
watched it yet.
And
I
it-
love Wasp.
It's not very
so
different from
good.
the trailer before. It looks good and it looks like really fun. But part of me was watching it just going, I don't care. I want to know what happened.
Yeah. Every other Marvel film.
I'm
for
really
me.
looking forward to
Marvel.
Captain Marvel. I'm really looking forward to that because
It's now relevant.
Different.
yeah, I feel like I'm going to learn about her
I've been
and then that's
waiting
going to add me
for
in.
so long for her to come into it. I've been waiting.
I can't wait for that movie, but like
Ugh.
Ant-Man.
We need to do this again when we see Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think maybe their view of it is they probably are going to be really important for Avengers 4, but
No
also it'll be kind of a nice, like, easy,
It'll
light-hearted
be something
movie
nice.
compared to what we've just had. It's
A
like,
band-aid to come from.
Enjoy, and we're like, oh, it's a great movie, and then
'Cause we-
post-credit scene, everyone's dying.
because like the first Ant-Man, it's not the best Marvel movie, but it's not the worst. But it's enjoyable.
No, it is.
It's
Good
just
fun.
fun.
It's so fun.
And it does like the whole shrinking thing.
Yeah,
It does that
does it
really
really
well.
well.
And it-
Like
yeah.
fucking
The
Thomas
fight
Tank
at the end
Engine
with
thing.
Thomas the Tank Engine is
So
just
good.
so
Thomas
good.
makes me so
It was really
happy.
original.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Really,
the more
really
original
different.
sort of things because
Yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
superhero movies. This is the problem I always had with like Man of Steel and they're just a lot of the DC sort of stuff. It turns into big people bash things a lot.
Yeah, it gets
Yeah.
a bit
And Thor's a bit
tiring.
responsible for that. Although they were always very clever about the way he used his hammer and stuff like that.
And getting people out
And Captain America always got around it
Yeah.
by having very clever choreography and Iron Man's tech was just so cool, and Black Panther and that their tech and everything around them was just like so clever that
It was
you
an
sort of
experience. Yeah.
it's more than just Superman bashing someone into something else, and then he bashed someone else into something else. Oh, now someone's bashed him. Maybe we should CGI his mustache off.
Oh, he bashed so hard his moustache fell off.
Do you think that's how the script goes? It's like Superman bash,
Bash.
Batman bash,
Bash.
Big boys, big bash.
big boy.
I've heard rumours that there
That
aren't.
sounds like a porn.
I've heard rumours that it's not
Big boys
scripted.
bash.
No, they I think it's. I've genuinely heard rumours that is not scripted. It's like they like fight for a bit or something.
For DC.
Yeah, for DC it's like fight scene.
They're just angry.
Or like I'm pretty sure I've heard a rumour of the words Batman does something cool. I have no idea if that's true, but I believe it to be.
Right.
So yeah, the next thing that sort of happened is worth talking about is so all the characters meeting each other. So how all of these guys, so all of our crossovers. The first one was Guardians and Thor, which
What's your favourite crossover for the characters?
Guardians and Thor. Rocket
think,
and
yeah?
Thor together. was
Rocket
just-
and Thor were
just made me
good.
so happy.
Responsible for the best acting in the movie.
That's true.
Oh
Chris
yeah,
Hemsworth
Can we just
tearing
say,
up.
Chris Hemsworth or Thor, one of my favourite characters of the film.
Yeah,
Hands
definitely.
down.
oh yeah,
Definitely.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, but
100%.
between Rocket and genuinely, I know they did it so many times, but the whole Thor calling him Rabbit every single.
It tickled
Even the
me.
second time I watched it, it still made me
I
laugh.
sat next to
get
you
less
both
funny.
times we watched this film. I sat next to you both times, and every time he said rabbit, you fucking spasmed.
I don't know why. It was just
He
my
led over
favourite
to me in the
bit.
first film and just went, every time he says rabbit, I can't get over it. I'm just like pissing myself, like, it's
Also,
so good.
Doctor Strange and Iron Man.
Yeah,
really,
really
really
good.
like them.
Yes.
Really
The way that they were just so similar.
Oh,
So sassy.
Oh, and
shout out to Wong being there because I love
Oh,
Wong.
yeah.
Shout out to Wong being in a movie. Well done. Well done, sir.
No,
Shout
Wong
out-
chopped
shout-
the dude's hand off. Wong did.
Oh yeah.
You're invited
And
to my
he-
wedding.
Part, okay.
I died.
That hand recovered, didn't it? I never thought about that, actually. That hand came
Yeah.
back.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Continuity error or regeneration powers?
Regeneration powers, probably. Blackwater are pretty powerful.
Yeah, so that kind of came in pretty early on as well. Black Order.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch. Sorry, can I just say Scarlet Witch and Vision together in this? Really loved it.
Yeah,
They were,
really
Yes,
liked it. They
in terms
were
of
really,
pairing,
really
I
sweet.
was there
Kids.
when they filmed those things in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
I went to Edinburgh.
We missed it by a day.
We did.
Yeah,
We missed Captain America fighting in that train station
Yeah.
by
Don't tell
one
me
day.
that.
Edinburgh
We were
Waverley.
in that train station
You know-
the day before.
Just, you know the
They were closing down sections for it. And
Yeah.
you know the shop
And then I
that
saw
they,
Chris
that-
Evans.
you know the shop that they were looking into with the TV on and the we'll deep fry your
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever it
Fire
was.
kebabs.
Yes, exactly. That shop. We went into that shop. That was the shop where they were selling the nerdy T-shirts.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, remember that? And they had the
Jesus Christ.
Pokemon arcade game thing.
Yeah,
they
and the
just
one right next to that is a shop that I love. It sells really good jewellery, and I was like, oh, look.
Oh, by the way, another reason to go see this with a Scottish crowd. Jesus, that joke got so much attention.
Oh yeah, there was like cheering and shit. That was when there was something about Scott's deep frying kebabs.
Well, deep fryer
I just
kebabs.
love that they had a Scottish flag underneath it.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, no, I went to Edinburgh that day, and I'm not being funny, it was a massive inconvenience because they shut half the train station. I got the train in, and I went into this like unknown platform I'd never been to before, and I was like, where am I? I was so
imagine if you'd seen
lost.
it?
I know, but I went up the Royal Mile, and there was like tons of burnt out cars and
shit.
massive big green cranes, and I was like, oh my god, like that's really
sick.
cool.
Because I remember like a year earlier when it came on my Facebook, some of that like Glasgow news page thing saying looking for extras for
That would've been my dream.
an unnamed Marvel film. I'm like, so Infinity War. So Infinity War is filming in Scotland. Okay. Okay.
A knack with finding film sets accidentally because when Benedict Cumberbatch is filming that like 20s cop movie in Glasgow, I like wandered onto the film set by mistake on my way home, and it was just like full of like 20s era taxis, and I was like, whoa.
So I remember.
They changed the signal lights as well to like American.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
so
Big yellow ones,
confused.
yeah.
Because I remember they also when they filmed
War Z?
World War Z here as well.
Yeah.
They used St George's Square.
George Square.
George Square.
Yeah.
George Square.
Thank you.
Yeah, George Square, the first scene.
Yeah, you know the bit where they're all running? That's
Yeah.
like those buildings.
Yeah,
That's
you know when
George
it
Square.
pans out and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when they get like T-boned by the cop car gets run over by
Yeah.
the guy on a bike. That's it. Gets run over by the truck.
Shit.
That's Glasgow. Yeah.
That's George Square.
I love that thing though when you like recognise somewhere. Like my
I know.
best friend lives in France, and her high school was in the last Hunger Games.
Oh really?
Like, yeah, the bit where
I've
God,
not seen it.
Oh, with the destroyed buildings and stuff.
yeah,
When they're
that's
in
her
the
high school.
where the people are hiding.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
That's really
Wow.
cool.
Yeah, because also like on the Isle of Skye, every film ever is filmed there.
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
it's just like, is there a picturesque bit? Okay, that's
Skye.
good. So, it's cheap. Scotland's just cheap to film.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
I just
Anyway,
can you imagine if you saw them filming this movie there?
I know.
I would have
That
cried.
okay, that's one of my. It's my second favourite bit of the film. I know we're jumping ahead a little bit, but my second favourite bit of the film is Captain America turning up. Yeah, and I'm not the biggest Cap fan. Like I love him,
I am.
but I'm not, like, you know, there's a lot of characters I love a lot more. You know, I do prefer, I think I do prefer Iron Man, and I love Thor more than I do Captain America. But that moment was just
So
the music
good.
with everything
It was
about that
beautiful.
scene was so
the
good.
score for this film was
Oh.
intense.
Yeah, it was so
Like
good.
I think
Gave you
rivaled
feels.
only by Thor Ragnarok. Like it
Gave
was
you feels.
Or Guardians, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just a beautiful piece of. Oh.
I think it's one of those scores because I listen to a lot of like movie music. It's one of those scores that works a lot better with the film
Yeah.
than it does on
Yeah.
standalone. But it is with the movie. Fuck me, is it
It
brilliant?
was one of those scores as well that it knew worked in
Yeah.
quiet. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was perfectly in sync. Well, literally, as if they like composed it as they were watching the movie, so they could figure out where to put bits to.
Yeah,
Like
that's
fit that
how
well.
that's how you make a score.
Shut up!
Like that bit in the newest
It
Star
fit
Wars
that well.
when everything goes silent when she crashes through the ship.
Yes,
And I remember
yes.
seeing that, and it was dead silent in the cinema, and then someone just went, "Fuck!"
No, yeah, but was like, fuck me, that's cool.
It just shows you how effective like silence is. It makes people go,
the end of Infinity War, it was like there was no music for the whole bit.
I didn't need that.
Between Thanos clicking his fingers and
that was
Thanos
horrible.
being Thanos then coming and sitting down looking over whatever he was, there was no music.
I didn't even pick up on that.
You could hear the dust. That's why you could. You could literally hear them, like them evaporating away, and you're like, nah. No, that's not right. That's so not right.
I know.
And then there was that moment where we were all expecting the mid credits scene, and then it just went quiet, and then just carried on with the credits, and we're like, fuck. You can't.
No, I know, because that literally when that happened, everyone was like, "Fuck!" So no credit scene, and then people started to go away, and we're like, "No, stay."
I'm not falling for that.
It's like, so.
But yeah, no, we mentioned Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Wonder.
Like when Vision got stabbed, and he was like, "Oh, it's disrupted my phase powers." It's like, "Oh no," because I love his phase powers. They make his powers so interesting.
No, I
like,
love his phase powers.
Well, it's one of the things that stops him from being shooting lasers and just punching people, sort of thing.
Really
like
cool.
when he fought Hawkeye in Civil War, that sequence is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
He just goes into Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I was like,
But I thought that was like, I was like, oh no, because we're not going to see that really interesting. And then Scarlet Witch's use of powers was so cool.
Oh,
like
she's
the
so
flying
cool.
and the way that she moved him around and stuff. I was just like, that's
She's
so
getting
clever.
so
And the bit with Okoye, and just like, why was she up there?
I love her. She's one of my favourite Marvel characters.
Yeah,
she was so
really
good,
good.
Okoye.
Yeah, she's my favourite. Well, I can't remember what her fucking name is.
Okoye.
Okoye, yeah.
Not Okoye. I do love her.
Wonder.
This might be controversial. I think Scarlet Witch, not Scarlet Johansson, Scarlet Witch is the most attractive Avenger.
Ooh, gonna have this fight.
Apart from maybe Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth takes it all. Like that's what I love about the 4 movies, especially the first and second ones, where the eye candy is just Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
It makes Thor 2 bearable.
I like 4 too. That's a debate for another time, though.
But a point just when you mentioned about like the old Thor movies and stuff. What I was saying earlier to some people, it's like what I think Marvel has done really, really well is that so some of the origin stories, like the first Cap story, you like him, you get what he's about. Second Cap movie, fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Cap was people's favourite character
Masterpiece.
after. A couple of first Thor movies again, yeah, I mean, alright, not your favourite character. Thor Ragnarok, favourite character.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Infinity War, favourite character.
Yeah.
It helps people progress so much, and you see people growing into their characters and being able to have like more control, and they're so good.
I think Marvel really has found their footing with that sort of
I
stuff.
think they've transitioned the vibe really well from Guardians to Ragnarok to Infinity War, because I think it would have been unbearably sad if there was no that sort of retro happy vibe.
Yeah, and I loved that when just I can't remember when it came in, but when you first see Guardians, and it's just you see the thing it comes out saying space, and then you hear the music, you're like, oh shit, because at this point you'd had Loki's death, and then you'd had the whole scene on Earth with the Black Order coming and everything. And then it was like, well, the shit is going down now. Spider-Man and Iron Man are in fucking space, and then it just like that all ends.
It was a palate cleanser, but
And
it
then
wasn't cheesy.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
And then the so typically Guardians music came in. And I was like,
this made my heart sing.
yes.
I really hope Avengers 4 is Spider-Man's friend Wong and Korg fighting against Thanos.
Oh yeah,
Only ones that are alive.
And we need the fella from Ant-Man. Whose name I can't remember.
Oh, the guy who always does the monologue thing.
Yes.
One hit man.
Yes, exactly.
One hit man. One punch man. The guy can knock anyone out in one punch.
Oh, is this the guy who does the monologue thing?
Yeah.
I was talking to this guy, he was at this, and he was talking to this guy, and this guy was like this. And he was,
Oh, if he doesn't talk to Thanos at some point, Thanos just uses the reality stone to stop him from talking.
But it can't, he's too
Or like
powerful.
uses the time zone, try and listen to it like 6 or 7 times to understand it.
No, he uses the time stone on it, just doesn't work. He can't reverse the time. It's like, wait, what?
What do we think of the Guardians then?
I like the
love
Guardians a
them.
lot.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Really, really
I love
good.
angsty teen Groot. Like I didn't know how much I needed that in my life.
I don't know.
I've heard we've heard that James Gunn wrote the lines for all of the Guardians Guardians stuff. I'm convinced of that. I like them really. I thought they were
really
done
well.
really, really well. I think for me they worked a little bit better when they were all on their own. Like I like
When
only
they were split,
only in one respect actually. I Quinn, like Peter Quill was a little bit something about it. It wasn't like I didn't like him, but it was just that something about me. It was a bit off his stuff. I think it felt like he was reacting to other characters a lot.
Yeah. And he didn't do anything in the film. Like,
Not a
he
huge
didn't do
amount,
anything
exactly,
successfully.
He didn't do anything apart from fuck it all up.
I
of the
feel like they
plan,
should have
part of
filmed
the
shat
plan.
on him a bit. Like, the funny
Yeah.
moments, but he didn't do anything competent.
Yeah, I felt like he was
Yeah.
always a bit back-footy, which is sort of not. He's always. I suppose he is a little bit like that, but
I
like.
think it showed his
But
character flaw.
I
very
actually
well.
thought the bit where he
Yeah.
fucks it up for everybody and he gets really angry about Gamora, I thought that was the most convincing
That
part,
was really
bit from him
good,
actually, because
yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah.
because he is like that, he is impulsive and just does what he
Yeah.
wants, and
Yeah.
that would have been like way too much
And
for
it,
him.
like, you understand why he did it. And
Yep.
Yeah.
that just makes it worse.
know,
Shoots first,
I know.
ask questions
Because you
later.
could see the two timelines where he didn't do that and where he did, and then it just...
Him and Thor.
Oh,
Fuck
him
me,
and
that was
That was
good.
very good character.
Fuck me,
That
that
was
was
really well
hilarious.
done.
You shall not take our ship, sir.
He's making his voice. No, this is what I always sound like.
It was one of those. I think for me, I felt like his character was just a little bit uncomfortable at points, and that's what I felt about Rocket in Guardians 2. I always felt like it just almost felt a little bit forced, and,
Yeah.
and it didn't take away from the film at all. It didn't bother me. It would have been nice to have a bit more of that. And I think you mentioned, Robin, that Banner is a little bit like that in this.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you weren't overly...
He's
enamored,
definitely
really.
underused.
It's just to me, Banner is so like I don't mind the whole like Hulk and him not getting on. That's really interesting. I didn't mind that concept. It was just Banner, just again, same way that Peter Quill I think suffered a bit, just came across as incompetent and a
Like,
bit useless.
I
That's
think
not Banner. Banner's analytical. Banner knows shit and is smart
Yeah.
and can figure things
So
out.
much
But I-
more than Peter Quill as well. Like, they really, really shat on Hulk in this film, and I didn't like
Just
that.
a comedic relief.
That's why
a
I
wee
didn't,
bit.
Yeah.
especially when
I-
he went to Wakanda, like,
Yeah,
he should have been geeking out about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he should have been like, he
Yes.
should have
Yes,
been, oh my god,
absolutely.
like, how did you think of that? That's so cool.
That
Tell
bit
me
where they're
more.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I
well,
agree
we
with
didn't
that
think of
whole-
it. That should have been a conversation about the two of them just nerding out and everyone
The
else being
shield
confused.
thing, you're like, how the fuck did you do
he should
that?
have been so excited to
Yeah.
be in that
Because he's supposed
setting.
to. She's like one of the smartest people on the planet, but
Yeah.
so is he. They should have been able to
Yeah.
speak on a similar plane
And I-
rather than him looking
yeah,
like an
and
idiot.
Because
Yeah.
Wakandan technology is like leaps and bounds ahead
Yeah.
of anything they have,
Yeah.
like with the Avengers. Like he should have been so excited,
Yeah.
I know.
and he just wasn't.
I didn't mind the Hulk stuff. I actually quite liked it.
I thought that was really
I
interesting.
think it was.
Yeah, I
I
liked
think
the Hulk
Hulk
stuff.
being because I interpret it as Hulk being terrified of Thanos, and for me that just added to Thanos. Which we haven't spoken about this. Fuck me, is he one of the best bad guys I've ever seen in anything?
I know.
He's
I know.
so good.
Done very, very
How
well.
did they get so much into this movie?
And all the insults. Like everything
Yes.
that we all thought was included.
Scrotum
Yeah,
face.
so nice.
Scrotum face. I know. Squidward's. Like,
Oh, that was the best.
was the best.
that was because that was the first properly funny bit in the film. That was
Yes.
the.
Squidward. Look, Squidward. Oh.
Thanos is just such an so well executed villain, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that film was like 2.5 hours long or something,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah,
packed
like-
all of that character
And he's
development
not
and
being
exposition into
characterised up
that
to this
film.
point.
No.
Yeah.
I think the thing for me, the first time I watched it, I didn't fully understand Thanos' motives. But the second time around, I got them a lot more, and I thought, no, this film makes more sense than I thought.
What I heard, God, I think it was maybe almost a year ago. I heard some report from the directors and stuff saying that they were trying to make Thanos into this generation's Darth Vader.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
seeing that.
And I genuinely feel, Vader's always going to be completely special to me, but I do think that they have pretty much succeeded
Yeah,
with
I
that. I
think
think
they've done
Thanos will be one of those villains that people will
Remember?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think. I mean, there'll definitely be people out there who will disagree with me and hated it, but I genuinely thought he was special. And Marvel has always been criticised for its villains, that they're one hit, they turn up, they go away, or people
don't
don't like
understand their
Loki or
motives.
whatnot. Yeah, and they have crap. His motives were quite simple, but he seemed committed to them and he sold them as a
Yeah,
character.
He did sell it.
I think
And he
that that's-
he didn't really seem mega against the protagonist as well. It was kind of like he really didn't want to just kill them for the sake of it. It was like, if you guys get in the way of my goal, then yes, you
Yeah.
will.
He's not just evil
you
for
will die,
evil's
but he's
sake.
not
Yeah.
just
I think that, I wouldn't say it was a worry going into the film for me, but I felt that he was very Thanos, the way he's been set up before, very two-dimensional, just this sort of big bad sort of lurking in the shadows. And I was like, oh, are they gonna, explain anything?
Yeah.
Are they gonna give me a backstory? Are you gonna give me something that I understand? And oh, they did. It was just so horrible.
I know.
So you're saying like the whole just going back to you saying like the whole like one-dimensional bad guy thing. I think that's something you could argue Marvel has listened to, because like the past, like Black Panther, they explained like his origins and stuff so well,
They're
and
really packing it in.
you really understand. And again, maybe for Ragnarok, maybe not as much, but you could see them trying. Like they were trying to say that she has a reason to be doing this, not that I just want to take over the world.
Yeah.
But she got fucked over.
More than other characters, definitely.
So I think if you're making
stuck in hell for
they're
50
making that
years.
attempt to fix
if
it.
you look from like far back as like even as far back as like Warmonger in Iron Man 1, he's just
God.
it turns out he's a dickhead. Okay. Oh, why is he a dickhead? Oh, just he's
Wants
bold.
to be.
Okay. and then it's just like, and then you like Captain America 1, Nazi on board. Yes.
Bad guy, don't like him.
What was the guy from Iron Man 2 with the chain?
Oh,
We don't need to talk about that.
He was cool.
Whiplash.
Was it Whiplash?
Whiplash. Yeah.
I liked him.
To be fair, actually, he's got more motivation than most.
Mickey Rourke.
They set him up with
actor.
the fact that Tony Stark's dad stole from his father and that he wanted. That movie's got a lot of flaws. I don't think it's as. Oh God, do I want to say this on the internet? I don't think it's as bad as Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3's horseshit.
Yeah,
I am
no.
more than happy to say that.
I thought that the bad guys in Iron Man 3 were just shit. I thought the whole motive thing of it, they just love into it. And I'm like,
You had Ben Kingsley.
I know.
You had a sick actor who could do so much, and you made him look like an absolute.
But then again, in that film, I
That was
did
funny, though.
love
I
the whole.
I didn't find that funny.
I love the whole.
All
Who
of it.
was the monk guy that was meant to be the bad guy, and then that ended up
Oh,
being
yeah,
the
the
kid.
guy
Ben Kingsley.
That was Ben
yeah.
Kingsley.
Yeah, alright, yeah. That was
He's
awful.
the Mandarin.
The Mandarin.
That
Anyway,
pissed off a lot of people. That.
but yeah, so Infinity War.
Yeah, I think. Right. Oh, okay. Do I want to say anything about Thanos quickly? Otherwise,
Right, the one thing I want to talk
Do
about
you want to get our
Thanos.
character list thing up, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, I want to say one thing about Thanos. The best thing about Thanos, for me, probably the best thing in the film as well, is the way that they used the Infinity Stones.
Oh, I know.
And every time Thanos did anything, you saw one of the stones glowing. You're like,
Yes,
okay, he's doing something very
This.
specific. And like, you could tell when he was using the Power Stone because everything was crumbling and it was all purple. And you're like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Oh, he threw the moon.
Oh,
You could see that, but see when the moon was crumbling, it was crumbling purple because he was using the Power
And
Stone.
I gotta say this because he can't say it for himself at the moment, but Henry, fuck me, did he love that moment? There was that moment where he. When the space stone hit the moon and you just started to see him drag it, and then the power stone hit it, I looked at him and went, and then I just turned my head because I had to look at somebody else. I had to know what someone else was thinking about this moment. And Henry was putting his drink up to his mouth, and it just went away. His drink started blowing down. His mouth opened, and like I'm pretty sure some of the fluid flew from his mouth, and he was just like, ah. Oh, it was so good. And I mean, there's. Of course, people will say like, "Oh, couldn't he just crush people with the Power Stone or the Space Stone and stuff?" And like, why didn't he just kill everybody really easy? But for me,
He didn't need to, they weren't. He didn't want to kill the Avengers.
I also see him as like that guy. He's got this incredible power. Like he knows they can't beat him.
Yeah.
Like in his head.
fun with it.
It's the line from the trailer. It's like I can't remember the exact line. I was asked you about this earlier, but it's like something about taking over the world. Or
One
something
doesn't
like that.
balance. One doesn't take fun into account when they're balancing the universe, but this does bring a smile to my face.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing it because he enjoys it, and right that he doesn't want to. He wants people to understand him.
Yeah.
I know,
and
like,
to
see
be
when he
with them on
turns up in Wakanda and everyone is coming towards him, he just bats them away. He's not going to kill them. He's focused
They're
on
nothing to him,
the Mind Stone.
He knows as soon as he gets it, probably most of them will die anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I felt for him like Mantis turning up was complete surprise for him. Never expected it.
Mantis,
Like he didn't
yeah.
expect that, which is why he wasn't prepared for it. But everything else, when he's fighting them, he wants to beat them properly, not just destroy them. He wants to beat them, and he doesn't see an eventuality where they beat him. Like, how could they? He controls at that point half of reality. Like, so he controls all of reality plus space and power. Like at that point he already
And time and soul.
and soul at that point already. Yeah. So at that point he's just like, so he might as well have his fun with them.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was so Yeah, I agree with you completely. The way that the noise it made when a stone activated, and the clever way of using them, like the space stone making Hulkbuster intangible as he flew through. Flew into the wall. That was so cool.
And like when he was using the reality stone to show him what Titan used to look like, and all of that. And the reality stone when we were on Collectors.
At Nowhere. Yeah,
Nowhere.
That was so cool.
With Drax and Mantis, I actually thought they were dead. I was like, are we just going to look at them?
Yeah, is that it? Is this where we're going to leave it?
Oh, just another wee shout out to Benicio del Toro. Just the Collector. I just love
such a good character.
See his wee wave.
He just plays the same character in every film he ever does.
Oh no, not if have you ever seen Sicario? With him, you need to see Sicario. It's about like Mexican cartels, and he plays like an assassin in it who's hired by the American government. It's a really good film. It's got Emily Blunt in it.
Did he play?
Really good.
Did he play Puss in Boots?
No, that was Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
It was.
All right. Okay.
How many movies will we review?
Right, okay, we're going to do a quick fire round through all the characters and what we thought of them and how they were in the film. Right, so we've done Thanos.
Okay, Thanos, okay. Fucking best.
Thanos, amazing.
Captain America.
I loved it. Not much character.
No, I thought it was underused.
It was. I feel like this movie had so much to do with it being every
so
type of movie. Like it was a movie for almost each of them, and he wasn't particularly used, but I didn't feel like he needed to be.
Yeah, I know. I think they could have made a little bit more of the Nomad thing.
Yeah. I wanted to see his
Circle
shield return. I genuinely thought that he was going to lose one of the Wakanda things and it was going to shield. Yeah.
We're going to save that. We need something in Avengers 4.
I think whoever we feel was underutilized in this one probably get more in Avengers 4.
Definitely.
I think that'll be a balance.
Plus, we've got to say space. We'll talk about the end later. But half the characters are gone now, so they don't have to play that much of a balancing act in the next time. Apart from, I assume, when they come back, Time Stone, please.
Fingers crossed.
Or Soul Stone.
But yes, Cap, good. The other thing about Cap, great beard.
Great beard. He looks so good.
The beard banter with Thor.
Beard joke was great. Good, yeah, that was the beard banter that we wanted with Doctor Strange and Iron Man.
Yeah, exactly. We had a little bit of beard banter, but we didn't have enough.
# more beard banter.
Okay, right. So
beautiful bastards. Beautiful.
Cue the fangirling.
Which eyes? Thor's eyes.
No, Cap's eyes. He's gorgeous eyes. He's grey eyes.
Which fangirling? Yes.
Okay, Thor.
Best breasts.
He was the best in the film.
The
Absolutely
entrance.
the best character. Oh yes, so the entrance to Wakanda is definitely the best.
That was
film.
the best piece of cinema I've seen in a long time.
I will say, I'm going to put Thanos at the top character of this one. Just because I've not seen him before, and because they did so much with him, and I loved it so. And I love a bad guy. It's one of the reasons Vader's one of my favourite characters in anything ever. He'll be my top.
I do like a bad boy.
I love a bad boy. Like Vader, I love a man in black leather. But no. Welcome to Let's Try Roleplay.
You do love a good scrotum face.
I love a man with several types of scrotum.
I love a guy who's not afraid for scrotum to be on his face.
I love a man who has jewellery.
I loved it. I know they've done it for so long, but building up Thor's humour has always been
funny guy.
It's been the best humour in the MCU.
Yeah,
ever since, like even in the first Avenger. Yeah, not the first Avenger, but the first Avengers film.
Yeah,
and then in
he's adopted.
The Age of Ultron, where he's talking about what was it? Been like crushed with the souls of his boys and all that.
The gates of hell are filled with the screams of his victims.
Yes. A wounded deltoid.
Gout. It's just go back and watch Thor 1. Wow, is he different?
Yeah, exactly. Right, so Thor's new hammer, Stormbreaker.
Love it. Okay, this is a good point to talk about this actually. Groot, is he worthy?
Groot's definitely worthy.
But is it the thing with the hammer? Is that worthy?
Them lifting it up, you mean?
I don't know if that's a worthy thing
I have
or not.
theories about this because I was thinking about it as like, does the worthiness apply to this new hammer? Does it how does that work? Because when the dwarf was hitting it, it moved around and stuff.
All right.
But then I was just like, maybe it has to be whole before it's the worthy magic affects it.
Yeah.
Then I wasn't really sure about it. But then it obviously has some properties of Mjolnir because when Mjolnir goes to his hand, he gets all of his armour on and stuff. The hammer gives him the ability to summon his armour and stuff like that as well. because in the comics he only ever has the cape when he's holding the hammer.
All right.
But when he held that, that's when his armor appeared. When he appeared in Wakanda.
Yeah.
So it must have some similar properties, but I like to think that because Groot is part of the hammer, he is therefore worthy of lifting it.
Oh yeah.
Because
I
it's
hadn't
part
thought of
Groot.
it.
But
Yeah.
also, I assume once the hammer's made whole, it almost becomes indestructible. Even Groot's arm thing. 'Cause we know Groot's arms aren't that strong, but
Well,
Yeah.
he did cut
The magic
the
must
arm
protect
off,
it, right?
Yeah.
For another
Yeah.
arm, so...
my boy,
My
Groot,
boy, Groot, my boy.
I know.
just like maiming himself.
Oh, took one for the team.
I mean, he grew it back about 30 seconds later.
Exactly.
He's very self-sacrificing. That was established in Guardians 1.
He's an angsty teenager. Like,
not
I
the
wasn't
same
expecting
Groot.
that of him.
I know,
It's not the same Groot. They've confirmed it is a different Groot.
Groot.
But Groot.
Canon different Groot.
I miss old Groot.
OG Groot dead.
No.
But
Shout out to
Thor.
OG Groot.
fucking
Anything
amazing.
else to say about Thor?
The things I would do to that
I
man.
love
I love the
we
bring
always-
me Thanos.
Yes.
Screamed it.
And even like it had the possibility of being such a corny line, but I told you you'll die for that.
Yeah.
Sure, got me.
It
That
was
was so good.
beautiful.
And summoning the Bifrost with the hammer, it's such a
Yeah.
but I like that they gave him another eye. I would have been perfectly happy if they kept the eye patch.
Well, there was
think
literally
there's
no
peace.
point in giving him that. There was no story benefit to it. There was
There's no
nothing.
CGI benefit because they CGI'd the eye for colour as well. So
Yeah.
Unless he just
So-
wore lenses, just wore like
Yeah.
a
The eye
lens.
patch
I
is
am-
even hotter, though.
Eye patch looks good. You
Yeah.
look through the eye
I
patch.
imagine it was for me. I think the moment where he lifted up and everything went dark and the lightning went everywhere, having both of his eyes visible for that was fucking great. So maybe they made the decision on.
There were so many Cap holds helicopter moments in that film, you know? Where
Yes.
Thor holds open the thing for the star,
Yeah.
and so did Spider-Man had one of those little bits where he held onto something.
Oh, yeah,
and there
when-
was a
when he
little
was-
pop of the
Yeah.
bicep. Yeah. Good film.
Oh, when
for
he
biceps.
held when he held Doctor Strange from falling out of the vacuum.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah,
That's what I
There's
thought.
a very fucking brief moment when he catches Mantis and then he rolls and lands on the
Oh,
legs.
that's cool.
That looks almost identical to one of the Civil War comic covers where it's Captain America's shield on the floor and he's like crunched up and the legs are holding him on top of the shield.
Whoa.
And I saw that and I went, oh my god, that's such a cool like tiny little Easter egg thing. I love
that.
it.
There was
Yeah.
a lot from just seeing some like the videos that you were showing out. There was a lot of like wee small comic book Easter eggs. I think
Yeah.
I don't remember them off the
There
top of my
always
head,
are.
but like there was loads of them, like really small, even just like images and pictures that were like on comic book covers and shit. It was really.
Can we just talk
really
about Thor for the rest of this movie?
Yeah.
No,
Happy
no.
to make
Good.
this a podcast about Thor.
Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
his suit.
Fuck.
Oh,
Nano-check!
no, see the things he was doing with his suit, with the massive, like, the big punchers and the jet thing for his
Yeah.
feet, and it was honestly by far the best Iron Man suit
I
of
thought
all
I
time.
would-
It was just, it was just so cool.
I must admit, I
Perfect.
went into that thinking I was going to hate it. I thought, oh, it's going to be one of the toy stunt things. They've made it so they can make lots of toys with them with different guns and stuff. Fuck, it just worked so quick. He did everything so quickly,
I know.
moving between weapons, and it looked so
Seamless.
so smooth.
It's
functional.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Every
seamless,
single
that's the perfect
film
word.
that he's been in, you've seen the progression of.
Downey Jr.'s nailed that character.
Oh, of
He's got it
course.
down.
Yeah, I love the way that in the actual Marvel comics they completely changed Iron Man to just be more
Yes.
like Robert Downey Jr.
Such a depressed drunk, yeah. But my third favourite bit of the movie is just when Peter Quill is talking and Iron Man just stood there with his face completely like, I'm dying inside. Like,
I
so
hate
good.
these people.
Talk about the sort of improvements being made to the armor over time. Me and my dad were watching the first Iron Man the other night. It was on TV, and I was just like, "Damn, those
Nostalgia.
suits are gross."
I know.
I must admit though,
There's a part of me that loves the first Iron Man
the Mark III
proper
suit will always be my favourite suit. It will always
The sound of it when it's moving.
yeah,
you're like,
the,
oh.
and it's the most solid suit that they've ever had.
Yeah.
Even this one, like it just it takes a hit and it doesn't get damaged easily, but it doesn't
Doesn't
there's
feel
clunky
strong.
noises. When he gets hit by the tank in Iron Man 1, you know that ain't going. Like that feels like
Yeah.
I'm convinced that he survived that, but
Yeah.
and it looks strong, but. And the first suit up sequence where it just puts the suit onto him is just
Yeah,
the coolest.
I know.
It's the coolest Iron
He
Man
pulls the
moment.
toggles on his jumper and then presses the.
That bit's. Oh no, I mean the Iron Man 1. The
Oh,
first
right, sorry, I
Mark
see what you
III
mean.
suit up sequence is forever going to be my favourite Iron Man
Yeah.
sequence, but this one was just this suit was so fucking
I always
good.
have a soft spot in my heart for that gimpy looking suit that he made in the cave.
I know.
I love that. Yeah, no.
But I thought his humor was perfect. I thought his relationship with Spider-Man was amazing. I thought all the interactions with Doctor Strange were so good. Yeah. Peter Quill, the interactions with him were great. I thought his motives with Thanos were great.
His side of the interaction with Pepper Potts was good when she phoned him and he was on the spaceship. Her acting in that seemed weird.
I didn't know that.
I genuinely, like, the second time around especially, I was just watching it just like,
you just really don't
Tony,
like Pepper Potts.
I don't like her, but it was just like, Tony, are you on a spaceship? And she just didn't feel like she actually cared that he was on a spaceship.
Oh god, get on a spaceship.
But no, I thought I love his interactions with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was one thing that the Marvel fans got spot on, like with the seeing him that upset in the trailer, seeing Iron Man that upset.
Yeah.
Of like,
we called it.
What could that be? That could only
horrible.
be something's happened to Pepper or something's happened to Spider-Man.
God damn
And
it! Why did it have to be Spider-Man?
Why did we
couldn't it
have
be
to?
Pepper?
Oh.
That was of all the dust. I'm gonna call it the dust because I can't think of anything better to call it.
Wait, do we want to talk about Spider-Man then?
We do. We want to talk about
Spider-Man. Yeah, go.
The Iron Spider suit.
And it seemed I completely understand why he's now in the Iron Spider suit, because remember he didn't want to take it at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming, and it was like he was running out of oxygen when he was going up on the ship. It's like it completely makes sense.
It was
fucking called that. I fucking called that.
Also, he's an Avenger now.
Yes, that moment.
That
so
moment.
sweet.
United him. I was like,
and I think that's one of those moments I almost expected a joke, and then they didn't happen, and I was like, good. Actually, I'm glad that
it's
just
just his
got
face.
that moment.
It's just we like. Fuck yeah.
I like how they kept all the humour of Spider-Man Homecoming with like the whole, have you ever seen this really old movie?
Also,
yeah.
He must be so sweaty. Because remember, he's wearing his other suit underneath that.
I know.
The entire movie.
Soaked all the sweat up.
And that suit's got like a lot of tech, and like in Spider-Man you see all the wiring on the inside, so he's wearing so much.
I think as well that like it. Because the very first time you see Spider-Man, you see his spidey senses going. And him flipping, like doing his things off the bridge.
That was good.
He was so in control of his powers compared to how he was in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Just doing those flips and the actual like Spidey jump, and you're like arms in the air, with his like legs pointing. I was like, that is so good.
And having the nanotech within his suit as well to allow for the arms to come and go was just
I really
just
like
brilliant.
that. Yeah.
Because it would have been weird to have them all the time, I think, maybe.
Yes.
But to have them there, it was such a good reference for me because it was one of those things is that, you know, they just gave him the proper Iron Spider suit. It was just great.
Tom Holland's acting was just
stellar. So that was destroyed me. Marvel are such dickheads for making his death last so long.
I know.
I was like, I don't feel good. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
So close to tears. I thought I was going to cry at this film because I cry at every film.
Yeah, I was
didn't cry.
so much closer to tears the second time, the first time, because I knew it was happening.
I think I was
and for some reason that made it so much worse.
I think I was so shocked that I forgot to cry.
That's the very first time walking out of this film, we were all just in shock.
I can't think of anything else.
I must admit, the first time we saw it, I was like tearing up when Thor turned up.
Yeah,
that whole sequence bit was so amazingly awesome. I was just like,
yeah.
No.
So we've talked a little bit about Hulk, other main Avenger.
Can I go back one last little thing about Iron Man? Actually, I just thought of, because when Thanos almost kills him, what Thanos said to him, I thought was so cool. This when it turns out Thanos knew him, knew of him, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. And it's the when I'm finished, half of humanity will still exist. I hope they remember you.
Yeah,
that was just part of that the emotional side of Thanos that made him such a good character, I think. And I just loved that interaction between the two of them. That he had respect for him.
I know. I really like that.
Tony Stark?
For Tony Stark, yeah.
It was just so.
The fact that they allowed Thanos to feel positive emotions showed that they've matured in what a bad guy can be.
Yeah.
The bad guy doesn't have to be evil all the time. They can have positive emotions put in the wrong place.
Just an incredible characterization of a villain. It was
Yeah.
it was like peak Marvel.
Because like you understood him, and like chatting to people afterwards, they were like, you know, at some points you almost were on his side.
Yeah.
In a way, you're
Yeah.
like,
You do
oh
get
shit,
it.
right? You know, I get where you're coming from, but wait, no, that's a horrible thing to do. Like you're wiping out half of humanity. That's horrendous. But you know, he was so convincing and did it so well. You're like, you could see why you could get people to follow him very easily.
It doesn't matter that it doesn't matter whether you don't have to agree with his motives. You just have to know that he truly believes it is right for the right reasons. And you're like,
good.
okay,
The good.
I can see the fucked up logic you're thinking. I'd never think that myself, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
convincing.
Yeah. Right, Black Widow. Parsley.
Needed more of her.
She could have not been there and it would have been the same.
Why is she blonde now?
I didn't mind that. At least that made it different.
I think her being blonde is because she's in hiding.
Oh, that's true.
I think that's the idea behind that. But then again, I think that's also why Catherine's
bleaching your hair takes a lot of upkeep. Not going well if you're in hiding.
Someone that a spy does not have time for.
I mean, you'll hate this, Robin, because you don't like they didn't like their thing in Avengers 2. But I liked the moment where
I've grown up.
Banner,
I love
when Banner turned back up and that just very simple sort of smile, and they didn't do anything else, and then they heard that is awkward. I like that bit.
I just hated everything to do with, but I just think they made Banner seem pathetic in this film, like puny and pathetic, and I hated it.
Banner is supposed to be like that, though. I feel like, I don't know, like I think he's not supposed to be particularly confident. He's supposed to be really timid and really like mouse-ish.
Yeah.
And for me, the thing that annoyed me about this is that he's supposed to have that. He's supposed to be timid and mouse. He's supposed to be the polar opposite of the Hulk. He's not supposed to be Tony Stark. He's not supposed to be confident and all that. But he is supposed to be hyper intelligent, and you have to get that across. And they didn't really.
I think it's just the first two. You could get that he's not. You're right. He's not Tony Stark, but you respected him, and you'd be like, he does earn respect in his own kind of really quiet, timid way. But this year, like, you could just be an average Joe who've just pulled off. I feel as if, obviously, with so many characters to do, it would be impossible for them to get everybody right. Absolutely impossible. And they did it to the best degree they could. It's just Banner, unfortunately, has lost.
He's almost identical in this movie as to how he was in Thor Ragnarok, but I bought that because he'd just come out of being the Hulk for 2 years and he was completely disorientated. So I was like, okay, cool. He's just.
But mind you, this is actually about this film starts about like 30 seconds after the Ragnarok finishes. But I know exactly.
Like he's not on an alien world anymore, and he's had a moment to breathe, and he's still, days pass over this movie, and he still just spends it just being a bit.
Bringing it back to Black Widow.
Bit blonde.
Yeah, so we ran out of things to talk about Black Widow.
No, we haven't. I have some points. I want more of her and Banner interacting in the next one.
Okay.
Wait, I work for them alive.
Yes.
Cool.
All the originals.
Fight sequence was so good.
Her fighting was good.
Black Order, with the first one with Black Order, her Cap and Falcon, that was amazing.
Always
and her
gets
and
one of those
Okoye as well when they were together. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
But I would agree with I just felt as if she wasn't really.
Yeah.
She didn't really say.
She didn't have any big lines. She didn't have any. Her story doesn't matter whether she was there or not.
I think
she didn't do anything in the film.
It's a side effect
mattered.
of this movie, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
But honestly, I didn't mind it so much.
I liked her and Rhodey's interaction though. At the start when they all first came into the Avengers compound.
I like Rhodey.
I like Rhodey.
Top look.
Very pro.
Yeah.
I got the shock of my life going back to watching Iron Man 1 when Rhodey is a different actor.
What?
Right, Gamora.
Love her. She was
up there, one of the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love that Gamora was such a main character in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
She deserved it. Her acting was absolutely fantastic.
Beautiful, And I loved her interactions with Nebula as well.
Yeah.
I really loved that we
I
got to
really love
see
the whole
that.
arc that they've had together.
Like, it was incredible.
Her conflict of emotions is brilliant as well. When she thinks she's killed Thanos on nowhere and she cries, like that was brilliant. And then it's just that I genuinely think that was the most heartbreak. Even at the end, because everyone dying in the dust at the end. Part of me was watching it thinking, but they'll come back. They must be coming back in Avengers 4. Like they can't kill this many people off. And even though it was very sad, but Gamora's death, again, that moment of just putting the music and taking away the audio of them screaming at each other, sort of thing, and
that was
him dragging that,
crying.
He is crying, and that was one of the best. I mean, apart from a side of epic moments, that's the best moment in the film for me. It was truly heartbreaking.
I have a bit. It's not like an issue as such, but I feel the bit before it, when she's like, almost like, haha, you've lost. In a way, I'm like, no, you're smarter than that. You would understand that he. I don't know. It felt a bit strange.
I think she told
it.
herself all those years that he doesn't love her.
Yeah.
And that he didn't take her because he wanted to make her
And I think
great.
she wants so badly for him not to win that this is the moment he's not going to. God, yes, he's not going to win. But
I think the first time I saw it, I was a bit like, that's a bit strange. But watching it again, I was like, right. I actually, from you saying that makes a bit more sense. That she has deluded herself this whole time. That no, he never cared about me. He doesn't care about me. Why would he do this? If he cared about me, why would he do it?
He is so evil that she can't process him having emotions towards her that are positive.
Oh, this is a good point for me. Okay, right. I want to talk about a theory that I have, and it's a good moment to talk about it. Right, in the comics, the Soul Stone has a conscience. Like, it's alive. It's the one stone that is truly actually alive. It is able to sort of impart consciousness or whatever. It is sentient. Because we didn't see that in this movie, although I think we did. It also has one of its abilities is it's able to absorb the souls of people, like, and it craves that. It wants to absorb the souls of people. I think, for me, Gamora is the sentience of the Soul Stone, because it's what summons it is her death. I believe her soul is now bound to the Soul Stone because it's the soul for the soul.
Okay.
That she is bound to the Soul Stone, which is why when he uses the Infinity Gauntlet, he sees Gamora again. And she says, what does it cost? Like, I genuinely think she is...
shit.
That could have some really cool consequences.
Yeah, I think Gamora's not coming back. I think she's dead. But I think we will continue to see her as part of the Soul Stone.
So
I think
maybe as the kid.
We may even see her be able to say goodbye to Quill and stuff through it. But I think she's gone. But I think she is going to be one of the things that gives them an edge against Thanos, is that the Soul Stone, at least part of it, is working against him.
Yeah. Okay, no, that's really
it's
cool.
It's an important distinction, because a life for a life, but it's a soul for a soul.
Yeah.
Because, like, the fall could have killed her, clearly, because he threw her off a fucking mountain thing. But it took her soul, it didn't take her life, technically.
I think we see her twice after that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We see her...
Wait.
You see her both as a kid, I think. You don't actually see her as a
Yeah, you only
when he
Yeah.
goes to like when he wakes up in that area, and when he wakes up originally finding like the soul thing, it's very similar to Black Panther's ancestry plane sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I have this idea that like the soul plane is just a thing that exists, like in D&D we have the ethereal plane and whatever. Like that soul plane exists within the universe of Marvel, and this idea that the Wakandans are able to visit the soul plane via their plant.
Herby thing.
But he is able to visit through the power. But I like the idea that he can visit it through the power of the Soul Stone, sort of thing.
Right.
So I don't know, but I have I just thought it was interesting to talk about that.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Again, the Soul Stone thing kind of confused me again at the start, because I'm like, this has literally come out of nowhere, that the Soul Stone's in this really random place. And whenever we went to it and we saw the person in the big cape, I said to you guys, I was like, oh my god, they're bringing death. It's gonna be death. It's gonna be death. And that wasn't.
No, they're not.
But it was Red Skull, and I was like, shit, that's really cool. But at the same time, I was like, where was this conversation about what is Vormir? Have we ever heard about it before?
Yeah.
I don't think we have. It seemed a bit out of the blue.
I don't think we have. No, I agree. I think for me,
I loved it though. The planet was insane looking.
Having Red Skull, I think, is what made that for me worth. Because there's all these theories about where the Soul Stone is going to be, and no one predicted it would be on a random planet no one's ever heard of.
Yeah.
But I think having him there made it a big enough reference to be like, oh shit, cool, that's where the Soul Stone was. It wasn't a huge letdown to anybody.
That is my big point of
Continue.
my review of this film. Is I had a lot of expectations for this film. I had a lot of theories. A lot of them came true. A lot of them didn't. The one thing that I did not see coming was Red Skull.
Oh yeah, yep.
That just and you were all looking at me. I knew you were. Everyone was looking at me. And when that reveal, when he took down the hood, and it was just Red Skull, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I had that reaction.
Cinema.
I genuinely
we all went, what?
That was
just what the fuck? Oh fuck! Yes, what?
I think
that's what elevated this film for me. It got me good because I didn't see it coming.
I think I don't really want to be the one to shit on that moment, but I really didn't like the Red Skull.
I quite liked it.
I loved it.
I loved it.
I think it's because when I've been thinking about these movies for so many years, I've always because as soon as we found I started to learn what the Infinity Stones were not long after Captain America, because I started getting really into it and all that.
Yeah.
Once I knew what the Space Stone was, I was just like, okay, so he could come back at some point. And I'd heard some chatter about wouldn't it be cool if, do you think we'll see some past villains coming back into this movie? Do you think we'd see some of the villains that have been connected to the Infinity Stones coming back, like the guy from Guardians and Red Skull and the elf from Mordecai from Thor 2? And I was just like, oh, cool, that'd be cool. But I never thought they would do any of it, because I thought it'd be ridiculous. I thought they're going to have the Black Order, that'll be enough. And then Red Skull being there, I don't know, I just thought it was made sense to me.
I feel like for me... So for me, the Red Skull moment in this was very much like the Yoda moment in Last Jedi. I kind of felt like, okay, this is a little bit random, but because Star Wars was my thing, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I absolutely love this. And I feel like if I was as big a Marvel fan as I am as Star Wars, I would be like, okay, no, I love this. But I kind of feel like Red Skull didn't actually have a purpose to be there. There was not a reason why he was the person that was there.
I think for me, his purpose serves to make it worth the Soul Stone being there.
He has like the gravitas.
It's almost fan service.
It's absolutely fan service, like Yoda was.
Yeah.
And it's like the movie has been designed. Yeah, he was the tool used by the writers to make this scene have sense. It didn't make sense within the actual world.
The thing is, within, I know that they haven't been able to get the actor back, and I doubt it's
Hugo
been
Weaving.
Yeah, I know that I doubt that they've planned this out completely, but there's notebooks and shit of like tons of stuff of all of the planning for Infinity War and all the like crossovers for every movie and all this sort of stuff, and they purposely didn't kill Red Skull at the end of for the first event, Captain America, the first Avenger. Like they didn't kill him. They purposely shot him into space, and whether they never contracted him for another movie because they wanted to do something, maybe get him back or something, but I don't know. For me, it just went, this is where he's been.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's so
like
cool.
Everything made sense.
Yeah,
and
I just loved it.
Such a surprise.
Yeah. And I'm glad it wasn't death. I think that would have.
I think it would have
been too much.
It would have needed more build up beforehand to do it. But I think it made. Just thinking about that, just popped into my head. It made sense if they were ever going to bring any villain back. It would make sense for it to be Red Skull because he knows about the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
He's aware. I can't remember if it's at the very first. I could be getting this wrong, but in my head, isn't it? He actually, does he say Infinity Stones in the movie?
I don't know. Right at the beginning of the film, I think he calls it an artifact or something. But he knows that he knows that it has tremendous power. I think he knows it's not from Earth.
So I think you can extrapolate from that he's aware of some sort of great. So he might understand. He understands the thing more than any other sort of bad guy would have before, any other character even, really, because he was the first person we ever saw who went.
Been trapped there for so long, you can assume he tried to take the Soul Stone once he realised what it was. And I'm just like, I got what you deserved, you Nazi bastard. You've been stuck on this planet for so long.
He's obviously been imparted with knowledge and powers as well, because he floats and stuff.
Yeah, he's very much the gatekeeper.
His face is all like,
but
he don't look good. He had a rough time.
His face is red because of what happened in the first one.
Shut up. He looks all like.
Did you miss that part?
Bad skin.
The whole of Captain.
He's obviously got some sort of special stuff from the stones, because he describes it, doesn't he? He says like doomed to guide others to a treasure I can never possess. So it's definitely something.
It's like someone who's had to actually accept it, because he was all mad about power and taking over the world, but it's like he's been humbled by them. Like he has had to accept the fact that I cannot control this. I was stupid to everything I could.
Still an Nazi though.
And whoever it was the impressionist. Fuck me, brilliant.
I know.
I didn't tell.
Convinced.
Couldn't tell.
Yeah. So one of the big characters we haven't talked enough about is Doctor Strange.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Drax.
His fight with Thanos, all his magic that he used.
That was
the way they used Doctor Strange's powers in this film was just amazing, and it was so different.
Very clever.
I love that about Doctor Strange. He's something you've never ever seen in a superhero before. Like
that's what I love about the Doctor
he's
Strange
so
movie.
clever. You said that before after the movie. The Star-Lord jumping on the platforms that he was making for them. Fucking support character, the best.
And then Spider-Man coming through the portals
so
and
that was amazing. Like front kick, back kick.
It was so good. It had all of the parts that I loved about the Doctor Strange standalone movie as well. His characterization, his powers,
his cockiness.
It was so fresh. It was It was so fresh and different, and I'm glad that it was included properly.
And the one thing I really, really liked, I think was a really important part for the film, is when he was meditating and seeing all the... then him saying, how many...
Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I do. I was like, how many of these workouts did we win? And it was like, just one. And then so you can see that he's seen that future. He's seen that through to a conclusion, so he knows... he's gone now, but he knows the way in which we win. And so that's a reason, potentially, why he didn't stop Peter Quill from setting off Thanos, and there were so many.
Why he gave him the stone?
And,
That's
and why he
exactly
gave
what
him the
I said,
stone, and why he needed to save Iron Man, and so it all makes sense. I really, really hope that somehow he at the end of Avengers 4 we're like, Doctor Strange. That is so
the $1
good.
million question is: are we seeing that one possibility, or did Peter Quill fuck it up? Like that's the thing. It all cruxes on that one moment. Did Quill fuck it up, or did he see that happening? And I think it makes more sense if he saw this happening.
The Peter Quill still didn't fuck it up because Iron Man was after that.
No, I mean, yeah, true, but like for the plan was obviously to try and get the gauntlet off him.
Yeah.
So if we're seeing the one, obviously, it makes more sense for us to be seeing the one possibility where they succeed later on because he gave them the stone. That makes more sense. But like, up until that point, like, was Doctor Strange's plan like the one success to get the gauntlet off him and stop him there?
Yeah.
Or was he bluffing with the Avengers and just lying to them, saying that that's the plan and how we do it,
that's how
so that he could lead them to get
he saw.
exactly.
So it needs to happen in that
he
way.
knows then Quill will fuck it up. Then I'll have to save Iron Man.
Yeah.
And then he'll kill half the people in the universe, and the Avengers will be set on the path to win without me.
I think as they were fighting though, and Doctor Strange could see that Quill was getting annoyed. If he thought that he was a threat to it, we just like portaled him away somewhere. So obviously, my thing is that he knew he wanted it to happen. He knows that this is they're on because he says at the very end, like, this is the end game. Or something. So they're on the path that he must have known.
This is the end game was the line that was like, I see what you're doing.
And then just before he disappears, says, "This is the only way."
Yeah.
And like it must be. He has a plan, and now it's gone.
Also, my point. So he's seen like 14 million odd things of people dying, and he's still in like fully conscious and normal. Bran Stark isn't.
Bran.
Maybe Bran got like, that's what it is. Bran saw the end of Infinity War, and that's why he's like that in season 7. He's just like
all of us,
traumatized.
I know Bran's a kid and stuff, but you've been through a lot already. And he's like, anyone who's watched season 7 of Game of Thrones, you know what I'm talking about. He's just.
And if
creepy.
you haven't, then spoilers to all of you.
He's just a bit of an oddball.
Okay,
and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So quick fire through the other characters. Drax.
Loved it.
I thought he was great. He was a complete, accessory character who was just there for the banter.
But worth being there.
But fine,
Did all I
absolutely.
wanted from him, really.
Absolutely fantastic.
Why is Gamora?
The best line in the movie.
Why is Gamora?
Mantis was great for that one
I was
moment.
thinking of Pirate Angel.
Pirate Angel. Chris Hemsworth.
I know.
Stop feeling his muscles.
And the whole bit with him eating the nuts. I was like, I am invisible. I thought that was a little bit
How long have you
tedious.
said that? An hour.
Right, Mantis. Good for that one moment.
Good, and I love that they brought it back
Mantis.
from
I love her.
the same concept back, because she did that to Ego as well.
Yeah.
They set up in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, she can do this to the most powerful creatures in the universe.
She did it to Thor.
Yeah.
Did it to Thanos.
Yeah.
Did she turn to dust?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did.
All
Yes,
the Guardians.
all the
Guardians.
Damn.
With
Rocket and Nebula.
Rocket and Nebula,
Yeah.
Nebula.
So Nebula, really liked her arc.
I
in this.
adore Karen Gillan.
Oh, she's
So I'm so
amazing.
happy she's alive.
What is the science of that thing that was holding her up? Can you just move whenever you want?
The torture thing when like they do that
Yes.
pan around and you just see
So
what's
clever.
happening. You're like,
I didn't see it coming.
fuck.
And the bit where she like shakes her head and like, don't tell him, and I'm like,
Oh no.
Oh, I know.
She crashes the ship into him. Like, you go, girl.
yes.
Another Guardians trope.
Oh, they're so Gamora. No one knows how to land the ships.
She snuck onto the ship to try to kill him. I'm like, fuck yeah, Nebula. Fuck
Yeah.
She says in Guardians too, that's what she's going to do, get a ship and then go kill her father.
I know. Right, Falcon and War Machine.
Weren't in it? Were
I
they in
adore
it?
it.
Yeah, they were.
I love their
They're a wee bit flying
friendship.
around.
I love
Oh,
it.
yeah, Singe your wings.
Can
That
we talk
explosion.
about how-
What an
Can we
explosion.
talk
Yeah.
about how there is now 3 Birdronies? Did anyone pick up on that?
You are?
Padroni?
Oh yeah, the little things.
Birdroni. There's now 3. There's
What does he call them?
Birdroni.
No, he
calls
doesn't.
them
Does
something-
it?
He calls it
In
Birdroni.
Civil War, he has a name for it, like it's a person's name sort of thing.
Red Wing or something.
No, he's something like that, because he says he makes
I think it's Red Wing.
Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, has to say thank you to it. I'm not
I'm
thank
near
you.
enough
It's
convinced
Birdroni.
It's not
I'm near enough
Birdroni.
convinced it's Red Wing. They had him. They had
It might be
Red
Red Wing, yeah.
It's Red Wing. But
But they, yeah, they're good.
Again, they were just sort of accessory
It's
characters.
still Birdroni, leave me alone.
It's Birdroni in your head, Cannon.
They I actually quite like that the two of them like each other, even though he's responsible for the reason he's paralysed. Like Sam is responsible for the reason. I expected that to come up, but they to say something, but like
I think they're both military men. They just get on with it.
They just understand.
They understand why it happens.
I also think that this, because
Don't
he has
hold
such
grudges.
a small role in this film, if we're going to recast Cap, then you can see that it's unlikely to be them. I just feel like they didn't have a big...
Bucky.
So Bucky.
You do not get to quickly analyse the characterisation of the Winter Soldier in this film. I will not let you.
He had a cool arm. So later on,
He holds up Rocket and spins him around.
oh, that's so good.
I do
And
not
Rocket
think-
wanting the arm.
I know. I don't think they made enough of Bucky in this film.
No,
I
they
think they
didn't.
should
It
have
is
done more.
not a secret that Bucky Barnes is my favourite character in the Marvel Universe, but his... Oh, I'm just angry about it.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you got like an end credit scene in Black Panther being the White Wolf, and then you literally really didn't get much
which makes
in
me
this.
think he's coming back. But like Bucky Barnes' arc is the perfect redemption arc, and it's all been set up for him to take over the mantle of Captain America.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
he's
I
dead
agree.
now.
I think we've just got to remember that I don't think this is the end of
Yeah,
them.
it's
I
not
don't
the
think
end.
so.
The next
And I
movie's
liked
going to have a lot.
he was the first death as well.
Yeah.
The first...
Yeah, that was hard hitting because then you knew they weren't fucking around.
They weren't fucking around. And
Yeah.
it was just Steve's face.
I
I think that's
know.
with all the deaths. It's like genuinely you couldn't guess. Like you had
You would
no
never
idea.
know.
You
who
couldn't
they were
guess
taking.
until you realise that none of the actual... Anyway, we'll talk about this.
But the thing is, do you know what? Just quickly about all of them dying. It's a weird parallel sort of irony on what Cap said in Avengers 2 when Iron Man created Ultron. He said, I built this to stop what comes from, the guys that come from the end game from space.
Yeah.
Like, how are you planning on stopping that? And Cap said, together. They don't even get to do that anymore.
No.
He has completely divided them by wiping half of them from existence. They don't even get to lose together.
That hurts
Yeah.
my heart.
Like
No.
it's such a cool weird shout out back to that.
Yeah. We talked about Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Loved
I
them.
love it.
Both of them were
Great.
fantastic.
Talked about Loki. Talked about Heimdall. Right. Peter Dinklage.
Oh yes.
The
Bruh.
moment when I realised that was him, I was like,
It took me a
God.
couple of seconds, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
I forgot that he was going to be in it until
Yeah.
I turned
too.
up.
No, I
Yeah.
had no idea.
I remembered he was in it, and I was just like, the what's his name? The guy who tortures Doctor Strange, one of the Black Order.
Oh, it's like
Ebony
Ebony
Maw?
Moore.
Yeah.
Moore.
I thought
He was
I was
cool.
like, is
I
that
liked
him?
him.
No, that's not his voice.
Yeah.
But then, and then when he turned up as a fucking giant dwarf.
So I thought Ebony Maw, I thought that was Donald Gleason.
Yeah.
Because it sounds exactly like Hux, but no. But yes, I thought he was so good.
It was just
His
so
voice
well
was just
done.
exactly like Tyrion's, which is, I mean... that's his voice. When I hear him talking normally, like in interviews,
Yeah,
Peter
that's
Dinklage, I'm like, why are you putting on this
But
weird
he's the
voice?
right voice for like he's like similar kind of cadence to like Thor's kind of like it's a powerful
Yes.
like
Yeah.
respectful
I love him
voice.
as an actor. He's like Tyrion is my favourite character
Oh,
in Game of
it's
Thrones, but it
amazing.
just made my heart happy that he was in this film.
I don't know
was
how
like,
that
yes,
wee man.
Peter Dinklage.
I don't know how that wee man makes that amazing deep voice.
I know, it's so
good.
beautiful.
It's amazing.
He is
got all day.
70% voice.
We had a
Please,
thing about the
yes.
hands as well, didn't we? Because
Oh
you
yeah,
didn't
I
realise
got
they
in the
were
first time I
melted.
watched it. I thought they'd cut like Thanos. Your hands are mine thing. I thought Thanos had cut his hands off and he'd replaced them with metal hands.
He's
But
done
then
a
I
clear
realised
category.
no, he'd poured molten metal all over his hands and it had solidified around them.
Yeah.
But
Oh shit.
Oh,
That
I
just-
didn't pick up on that.
yeah, because I was
was-
thinking, if you took your hands away, how did you get the other ones on?
Yeah, exactly.
But then I was like,
And
I
why
looked
would
at
you do
and
them
it's-
like a fist?
They were closed fists, and I was like, oh, he's poured molten
Yeah.
metal on his hands. I get it.
That was pretty nasty.
It was
Yeah.
one of the best new characters in the film.
Also,
Yes.
he had a good line with the it's like, it'll kill you only if I die.
Yes.
Yes,
That's how it works.
that's what killing you means. Only he could have delivered that line.
I
as well.
know, I
The
know.
star that he was at was amazing.
Oh, I know.
I did like
that
that.
whole scene was just
Oh yeah, that's
Fucking-
great stuff.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love this idea. That's where Mjolnir comes from because I always
Meow.
wondered about that. Like, where did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Black Order. I really liked Ebon more.
Ebony Maw.
I thought he was great. I thought his powers were awesome. I thought he was so sassy. I loved the way that he was like brown nosing.
Squidward.
The preaching.
Squidward.
Yeah.
I like the preaching.
The
He was
preaching
the
was
most
clever.
convincing for me out of them.
Yeah, the
Preaching gave me like
I think
put me on
it
edge.
really
I was like, oh
showed
man.
the danger of Thanos and his ideas, because there's no way that he was in it for the greater good. He was in it because he worshipped this, and he
Yes.
it was creepy.
And at the end of the day, Thanos is brutal. Like as much as he might be capable of positive emotions, and everything, he's horribly brutal.
Oh god, yeah.
And he attracts these people to him. But I think the Black Order was it served its purpose, and it was there. But it was like the problem with Marvel superheroes and with supervillains, and sort of the problem DC has with its villains and stuff is that they were very two-dimensional. And
They served their purpose though.
Yeah.
They weren't meant to
I
be.
feel like
I think.
I think Ebony Maw was the only one that I
Ebony
really
was
liked. The other ones I was like,
Yeah.
okay, you're just there to fill a role.
yeah,
I really enjoyed
And
when he suffocated in space.
yes,
That was good.
I was surprised he
Can I
died from that. I was like, whoa, he's dead. Okay.
I know, I was thinking, oh no, he's not easily beaten like that. He's too creepy.
I wouldn't have sacrificed any of Thanos' character development to get more of theirs.
No,
At all. But the one thing I would have liked more from them is I can't remember her name, but Glaive and the female.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh.
They're married.
They're married.
Yeah, so
married.
they're married, and I thought that they should have played off the fact that they are married, and they were the ones that went after Vision and Wanda,
Yeah.
who were in a relationship. I thought they should have
That would have been
played off that sort of a little
I
bit.
didn't
I
know
think
that.
maybe it was almost like implied.
Yes.
Maybe, but no, never outrightly said. But it's like you could.
I didn't pick up on
think
it.
about that. But I never thought of that either.
Looking back.
Yeah.
And then the first time I watched the movie, I completely missed this, so like it didn't mean anything to me. But the second time, they tricked me, and I was like, "Oh, you got me, oh, you cheeky bastards!" Because this is what I've written down here. Because when how he gets injured by Captain America and that when they fight in the train station, and she's like, "Get up," and I can't, and then they get beamed away. When the next time you see her, I believe, is in Wakanda,
Yeah.
and I stood at the thing, and she's with the big guy with the big hammer that apparently has a chain or something. Big Thor. Then
Bad Hulk.
ugly Hulk Thor.
Anti-Hulk.
Less cool card.
Fulk. I am Thulk. But he look at him, he's fulking. That's how what's
Fulk
his name?
smash.
The boxer would say it.
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. I'm fulking. No, he when they see him at the wall again, they say, "Where's your friend?" And she's you'll pay for his death.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, what? Fuck! Did he die from Captain America? Fuck!" And then he comes from behind and gets into the thing to go after
Right.
Vision, and I was like, "He's not dead! You fuckers! I've seen this movie, and you tricked me."
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, I watched it. I went, "Oh, he's dead. Oh, I missed that last night. Right, okay." I was like, "Wait, oh fuck!" I was like, I saw this movie earlier today, and it got me. Oh dear God.
Goddamn.
Right, is there anything else anyone wants to talk about before we talk about the ending and
Captain America and Black Panther running.
I would pay to just watch that on a loop. Like.
Yes.
The whole like Wakanda battle fight scene, like open the freaking
so good.
shields, and then people through, they just see them running. You're like,
That was insane.
Just brilliant. I just thought it was great. And
I thought it showed everyone's fighting really well. Like it showed the two of them in the sky. It showed like Hulk and Hulkbuster armor.
Oh, I
was
loved
so-
it.
I honestly think, apart from Hulk, because he didn't turn up, I honestly think for all the characters that we have problems that they were kind of just there. In the combat sequences, and the action bits, they showed what they could do really well.
Yeah.
Like Black Widow's choreography was excellent, as it always is. She was
synchronized
fantastic.
with her, Cap, and Falcon. That was amazing.
And
Smooth.
Her fighting and then Wanda assisting and all that sort of stuff, and the way that Scarlet Witch used her powers, and the way all the Wakandan characters used the stuff that we'd seen them use as spears,
Chanting.
all that sort of stuff.
Oh, the chanting gave me shivers.
And like. We even saw like bits of like Black Panther wasn't in it a huge amount, but we saw him use his
The kinetic energy.
energy powers. We haven't talked about Panther.
Yeah, we
actually.
somehow missed him.
Yeah, then again, so did the movie. But no, he wasn't in it a huge amount. And honestly, they edited his line "Get this man a shield" from the trailer, and it didn't hit as good as the trailer.
I know,
for me.
really
It would have
didn't.
been fine if it had been the only version I'd seen, but now I know they can do it better.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I thought his combat as well was brilliant, and That's great.
I love the one with Akoya where it was like, oh, when you said putting Wakanda on the map, I thought you meant the Olympics or a Starbucks.
She's so good.
She's so sassy.
I love her so much.
I also really loved M'Baku in this as well.
Yes,
Him
he's
coming back
good.
just made me so happy because
Yeah.
I love his character and I wanted more of that, and I got it. And I was happy.
We just we get one character that we never got back from Black Panther, which is so shame. It's her wig. We never got her wig back. Like I wanted to see
She
more wig.
threw it at that guy. I was like, this is awesome. I love it.
Ended him.
Can you imagine if she'd thrown her wig at Thanos?
Landed on his little scrotum face.
And then he was just like, "There's no stone for this."
There's no stone for the shame.
So, talking of ways that we beat Thanos,
Yes.
how do we beat Thanos?
Time Stone.
I
He
said
has it.
Soul Stone.
They get it.
But I think that I was talking to Robin about this, and the only way that I will be happy that if Avengers 4 will end is the original
I think
Avengers.
you've told me about this as well.
Yeah,
Is
the
it what I
original.
think it is?
So original Avengers with Cap, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, they all need to die to let the new ones take over. It needs to be a film of passing over, the torch. And I really want to see them sacrifice themselves
The way
for the
I
new
see
ones.
I think Captain America is going to die in Avengers 4. I think Chris Evans is gone.
I think he's the
and
more
I think
likely
he's
to.
going to wield the Infinity Gauntlet. And I think that's what
fuck.
kills him. I think he's going to wield it, and he's going to send it all back in its
I
fine,
think
and
if
it
they're
tears
gonna-
him apart.
If they're
gonna
gonna do,
unclick.
Yeah, he's going to unclick.
yeah, if they're gonna do,
Backwards
Can you
click.
reverse click?
if they're gonna do something like that, I think it's gonna have to be. They're gonna. I feel like maybe that because this is obviously Iron Man had a massive role in this movie and Cap didn't. Maybe in the next movie Cap's going to be in it more than Iron Man is, and they were sort of splitting it with these two movies between the two of them, and they're gonna have to do more with Cap before you
kill him.
Before
Yeah.
well, also
Before
before
you kill him.
before it matters that you kill him as well
Yes.
as much, because if he died in this movie, we'd be like, oh, but we didn't see him in it. Like that's such a shame.
Yeah.
Like because when Iron Man almost went, I was like, oh my god, they've done
Yeah, I
so
was
much with
committed.
him. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, he's gonna
It
die.
makes sense for him
Shit.
to go. When they stabbed him, I was like, shit, he's actually gone. Like I never thought I'd see this when it happened. But
I know, because I know that Robin, you were saying, oh, but I want Captain America to come back and be like a wise guy that
I want them
teaches
to
them
just
all.
retire
And
and
like
let everyone
and-
I
to
want
be.
old man
No,
Cap.
I'd hate for them to do a whole Yoda thing,
What
like
if they
where.
do?
I want
What
Thor to be king. I want.
if they do a whole thing like you say, like the original Avengers have to die sort of thing? What if, like you say, like the someone maybe uses the Infinity Gauntlet, and we've seen that it is corrupting Thanos. Like it's damaged his arm and it's injured him in some
When he
manner.
clicked, it all just went.
And
completely insane.
the gauntlet itself looks like completely
Damaged.
covered in goo. But I just like what if it's something along like the lines of like one of the. Almost like End of Guardians of the Galaxy, where one of them gets the gauntlet,
And
but they're
they
not
all
strong.
hold
You know,
it.
that none of them are Titans, so none of them are strong enough to wield it. But together, they all end up with their hand on the gauntlet, sort of thing.
Hand on like
and it wipes all
one
of them
hand
out.
on each stone.
Oh, don't do that!
There's
No,
5 of them.
One hand on each stone.
6 of them.
6 of them. Oh god. Who's the other one that's alive?
Hawkeye.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, great, Hawkeye. What if Hawkeye just does
Hawkeye-
everything?
Hawkeye with a sleeveless
What if
vest.
we're going to Avengers 4? Psych! Hawkeye
Genuinely,
solo
could that
movie.
be one of them puts their hand on each stone to like control it?
Or they all put their arm up the gauntlet and like one of their arms with a Thanos finger. It's like a really elaborate sock puppet.
Exactly, they just put their head in, like, and they'll run around in this glove like
Gonna just put my mind.
like the penguins in Madagascar.
Oh, that just occurred to me actually. Why couldn't Doctor Strange just like make one of the ring portals around it and close it off and cut off his arm like they did to the other guy?
Oh,
Because he's
don't.
a fucking tool.
Does he just keep coming back?
Oh no, I
with him?
suppose he has a space stone, so he could have stopped that, couldn't he?
Yeah, I think
Cool. Solve my own plot hole there.
my understanding of is that when Thanos clicked and used Infinity Gauntlet, he's almost, I don't want to say he used its power, but he's weakened it in a way. So he himself is now weakened by it, and they can kill him now. Whereas before, when he was
Yeah.
collecting all the stones and stuff, he was still too powerful for them to kill.
Yeah.
But this has weakened him enough that a group of them could take
It'll
him
be
down.
difficult for. I think it's. We won't know really until we see more of what he's like with all the stones.
Yeah.
But because it'll depend. There's lots of things of like what happens in the comics and all this sort of stuff. But me and Henry were talking about, and we're not the Henry maybe knows a bit more about Marvel than I do, and I don't know a huge amount about the comics. I'm much more of a DC Comics fan, like not universe. Yeah. Please do not send emails. That the cinematic DC universe needs to die. I love it. But they, in the comics and stuff, we couldn't think of a situation like I've read Infinity, which doesn't actually have a huge amount to do with the Infinity Stones at all. No. But Henry's read some of the other Infinity stuff, related stuff, and we couldn't think of a situation where they've actually beaten Thanos with all the stones. That isn't a decent actual proper comic sort of thing. So I think maybe we might see the Marvel Cinematic Universe sort of taking their own sort of take on it, which I'd be quite happy with. I'm not that big a fan to be pissed off by it. Yeah.
That's another theory I have about what will happen in Avengers 4 is we've seen the destruction of one Infinity Stone. We've seen it. It was destroyed. So that would...
Oh, yeah, by Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, it would sort of infer that they can be destroyed.
Yeah.
And whether they all are, or one of them is...
Unfortunately, the one person who could destroy that stone is dead.
Yeah, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what else happens?
I think my personal theory at the moment is Gamora's Soul Stone is going to have something to do with it.
Yeah.
We had a long conversation about Adam.
He's not in it.
Yeah.
He's not in it.
Adam Warlock?
Adam Warlock. He's he's in Guardians 3, which is post 4.
I think maybe if we're going for predictions for that, he might have something to do with the Infinity Stones in that film. But I don't...
But that doesn't come out till after...
But I think
he's been replaced by Captain Marvel, kind of, as the one that's going to sort it all out.
The scene of Adam Warlock punching Thanos in the face, I think that's going to be Captain Marvel. Well, that's the other thing, is that we have no idea how she's going to fit into it.
We don't even know what powers they're going to give her, because she has so many.
Yeah, that film did really well. I did not give a shit about Captain Marvel until that end credit scene.
Oh, it sounds like she must be important enough.
Until Nick Fury's like, okay, I only know one person that can sort this out.
Nick Fury to die.
I hope she's in space, because Captain Marvel's done some spacey stuff before.
Yeah.
I hope she's in space, because otherwise where was she in Avengers 1? Where was she in Avengers 2? Where was she in Civil War? Where was she in everything? The world-ending events in Captain Marvel, probably one of the most powerful beings on the world, never turned up.
She was
she's not, because it's going to be in the 90s. I hope then there's a reason that she's not in space, because it also, someone said that I heard something about maybe the thing that he presses looks like an old weird pager or something, old tech from the 90s or something,
kind of thing,
and it's modified with sort of special tech so that it can reach into space or something. So that's the pager he used to use in the 90s when he worked with her, and then maybe we'll see that he's modified it so that it gets better cell signal.
That's really cool.
He's with EE now, not 3.
I think it could be.
I think he's got to 5G.
5G
in space.
Oh, 5G. Nice.
Is Captain Marvel set in the 80s or the 90s?
90s. I heard today that it was the 90s.
There better be some Spice Girls in it.
I think maybe it could be that there's something that happens in the Captain Marvel film that she almost goes into some sort of hibernation or some sort of right, I'm going to give you this when you need me back, because I'm going to be off solving issues in other fucking places. I don't want to come back until I'm needed, or until maybe something really, really bad happens in Captain Marvel. She's like, I don't want to be part of Earth for a while, but if I need to come back, let me know. And Nick Fury never thought that it was bad enough to need her back until this. Nick Fury dying, I didn't need that. That was the final straw for me.
We so nearly got Motherfucker. What a beautiful reference.
That was one of my favourite post-credit scenes.
I'm so... Actually, maybe even more than the Captain Marvel movie itself, I'm looking forward to its end credit scene, because I want to know. Give me something.
We finally get to know how Nick lost his eye.
No.
Oh yeah,
because the pictures. I would have loved to have seen so the you get
the CG in his
you
eye
get
patch.
to see the end credit. you get to see the mid credit scene and then the end credit scene. I would love the mid credit scene to be him going motherfuck, and then the end one being cut. That would be so good.
That was really good.
Oh no, I really hope people edit. And seriously, if you find some good edits, put it on our spoofs of this. Put it on our Facebook page or email it to us, or put it on our Twitter. I want to see edits of when he presses the button, it buffers, and it's Deadpool or something. And I genuinely thought Deadpool was turning up. That car that flew around looked like it was stunted into them, and I was like, they were gonna go around and Deadpool was gonna pop up, and I was gonna lose my mind.
That's the ultimate fangirl.
He's coming for my girlfriend.
I know.
Have you seen that video of Hugh Jackman trying to wish somebody a happy birthday, and Ryan Reynolds is on his bed distracting him dressed up as Deadpool?
Oh my god, yes.
He's just singing a song and he's like, oh yeah, I like that song. Anyway, yeah, that's our review of Hugh Jackman trying to say happy birthday.
How many reviews have we done in this review?
But yeah, it genuinely blew my mind when I walking out the theatre for the first time, realising that it was just the original Avengers kind of left.
Yeah.
Rocket and Nebula. Rocket and Nebula are the two. But it is basically and I'm like, I won't be happy. I will understand it and I'll be like, shit, that's cool. I won't be happy because I fucking love them. But like, it makes sense that they are the ones whose arc started with Thanos. It makes sense for them to be the ones that finish it and kind of complete it in a way, and then pass it on to the.
Which is like I had that theory going in, didn't I? That it was going to be we were going to lose the main Avengers and end up with the B team for Avengers 4 that eventually come back and get them back for the one big fight at the end where we have all of them again, and then we lose the main Avengers as they fade out, and then we've set up the new guys. We respect them now because they beat Thanos, but like. We got the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like
we've got the opposite, but it's kind of the same
we've
thing.
Still got we've got some potential for B team characters to come into their own, but like we've been left with almost only the A team, and I did not see that coming.
It's like the last hurrah of the original Avengers.
Yeah, exactly.
Before they all die horribly.
And I just love that character motive for all of them being like, and I can see them all having it, being like, no, the future is not us. The future is these guys now. You know. And I can't wait for if that is the case, and I can't wait for the next phase of Marvel.
I think Cap's broken.
Yeah, because Bucky.
I think Cap's going to be one of the guys that doesn't want to. He doesn't want to continue fighting. Like I think this losing Bucky and that he'll just be like, you know, what's the point? I think Iron Man's going to come back and kick him up the arse and get him back into it, or something, or maybe even Captain Marvel gets both of them back because both of them are so like, you know, Iron Man's just lost Spider-Man. Yeah, they've and then Captain Marvel walks into their AA meeting and says, "Come on, guys,
Avengers Anonymous."
Avengers Anonymous. It's just them and then a whole bunch of empty seats.
With like name tags on them.
Piles of dust on them.
Shit. Rhodey's still alive as well.
Still alive.
Rhodey's alive.
Rhodey's still alive.
Oh.
He was looking for Falcon when he died.
I thought he was dead.
Yeah, that's so bad. He's
unnecessary.
Falcon's the only one that went unnoticed. Nobody noticed that he disappeared.
I noticed.
Rhodey noticed.
It's such a shame.
What was I forgot what I was going to say.
I just, the whole thing was just complete. We will have missed so much we want to talk about. But
Yeah.
Ant-Man, what are you doing? Bro, what are you
Shrinking.
up to?
No.
Maybe he was there the entire time, we just didn't see him.
Yeah.
He was just sitting like, could fight
Hidden
it.
Particle, I think it's got a role to play.
We might find out in Ant-Man and Wasp. They might reveal something about it because they're talking more. In the new trailer for Ant-Man and Wasp, they spoke a little bit more about the Pym particle. They mentioned it like doing something. They like maybe have a new power and stuff. Also, and this is completely irrelevant to an Infinity War thing. It's going to have Goliath in it, and it is Morpheus from The Matrix. So, what's his name?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. Goliath was one of the guys who had the ability to enlarge himself and grow. He was actually a very important character in Civil War, the original Civil War comic, because this is going to sound really weird if you don't know the original Civil War comic. The android Thor killed him with a lightning bolt, and that was what sparked off the real blood feud between Iron Man and Cap, because one of Iron Man's team killed one of Captain America's, and it was the first time a superhero had ever killed another superhero. I think within their continuity. I think. So that was a really good comic book. Any other ideas?
Right, final thing.
Fighting.
Right, best Marvel movie?
Best Marvel movie.
Best Marvel movie.
Solid
One of the
9 out of 10
most
film.
emotional tugging ones. I think they've been doing that a lot recently. I think they really started that with Guardians 2, with Yondu dying. Because until that point, I mean, they'd just been superhero movies. But then from that point, they actually started putting in like really big emotional stakes, like Yondu dying.
Yeah.
Odin died as well, and then
I couldn't concentrate at work afterwards.
Why did you
All I
remind
could
me of
after we
that?
saw it, I slept for a couple of hours, had to go to work early, and then I just spent my entire time there just thinking about Avengers Infinity War. And then when you messaged in the afternoon saying, do you want to go see it again? I was like, yes, definitely. I have to go see it again. Like, I was actually genuinely thinking about messaging you to say, go see it again.
I think it was just genuine shock. Like anyone, you'll know the exact feeling walking out yourself if you're such as big a fan of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we are and have watched all the movies so many times. But just the shock of it, just coming out of it like, shit.
It's just the
we genuinely
silence.
just didn't know what to think.
The silence apart from those Scottish people going, fuck off. Fuck off, Margaret.
Fuck off.
I'm so glad I went to see it when I did, though.
That made me
know.
happy.
For everyone listening at home, I'm in the middle of my university exams right now, and I was going to try and wait until they were over to see it.
No,
and
you got
No,
it.
I'd
you
successfully not seen any spoilers in the first
You
12 hours of
wouldn't.
it being out, and then I was like, I can't do it.
No, there's so many memes out now.
so
It's,
many memes.
I almost said then, if you haven't seen it already, you have to go see it before it gets spoiled. What are you doing listening to this review? Like,
The memes have been very good.
But if
Just
you
memes.
haven't seen it, then
right,
recommend it.
one last question for you.
Me?
Because I think it does beat them for me. Does it for you beat the modern, most recent Star Wars films?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
It's
100%.
it's better. Star Wars is always going to be more special to me, but
Agreed.
it's more well thought out.
Yeah.
There's more character depth. There's more stakes.
Yeah,
It makes more sense.
It's just,
Yeah, there's more.
I-
It feels more at stake, to be honest.
it's the culmination of God knows how many years, 8, 9
10.
years,
10. Marvel 10.
Because they had
Yeah,
it in the
10
Marvel,
years,
they had
yeah.
the 10
That was cool.
years.
the
That was
culmination
pretty
of a
nifty.
decade of work, and it feels like it, and they pulled it off, and it was just DC have hung themselves.
Well done, Russo brothers. You've
Oh, God.
absolutely
wow.
outshone. Now here's Joss Whedon has apparently left the Batgirl movie as well.
Is he trying to get back into Marvel? Let me do Avengers 4.
I don't know, but apparently he's left the Batgirl. Because I tried to watch Justice League the other day, and the thing I was watching it on, the sound quality was messed up with the actual voices. So I was like, people were talking and their mouths were opening 5 seconds later. I was like, I can't do this. I genuinely just can't.
That's
put
actually
myself
just
through
what
this.
the film is like.
Yeah,
they just fucked it up so much.
Yes, just so badly edited. What you've really got to watch is watch the moment Thor turns up in Japanese.
Oh yeah, that was on YouTube.
It's fucking brilliant.
Oh.
It's just, there's a moment where he charges forward, I'm not even sure his mouth's open, he goes, Wah!
No.
I'm on board.
No, the thing is, it's when he's running forward, and it's the bit when his mouth's going, "Bring me Thanos," but he's just going.
I don't think
It's
dubbed
like
things
some
work
fucking
very
anime
well.
bullshit.
Oh, it's
Just
brilliant.
do subtitles. Dubbed things just don't work a lot of the time. They just don't fit in.
If you want a really good fan reaction to the moment Thor turns up, watch the one where the guy drops his phone as he jumps out.
No fair.
Oh, the
Right.
best. I've watched that bit
And
so
on
many
that note,
times.
Should we have a one-sentence sum up of our views?
I mean, it's just,
Favorite? Shall we look at what was our favorite bit? Everyone think your favorite bit of the
Favourite bit.
film.
and it got to be different.
Okay.
Fuck.
Right, so I can't say Thor turning up.
Okay, so we can't say Thor turning up because.
Well, we can all agree, but we need to think of 4 things
Four
that we
things.
can all agree on were our favorite.
Okay, so favourite or best moment?
Your
favourite-
the bit for you.
Your
One of the bits
favoritist,
for you.
bestest moment. Edit all this exposition out.
This is going up unedited.
Oh, God.
Raw.
It's not.
I'm
gonna
not
s-
editing it.
I will quickly pass over it.
I'm trying to think through the
Let
movie.
me just think through it.
I know. I was trying to think through the movie.
I'm trying to think of, the bit that was objectively the best part, or the bit that got me the most.
I can say definitely coolest moment. Thor arriving. Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Yeah, coolest
moment.
Probably
that
my
was the biggest fuck yes moment with the
Okay, so I'm going to say
Steven.
favourite moment. My favourite moment is Thor turning up.
Yeah.
My best
That got
moment.
my applause.
My best moment, I think, is Gamora's death. I felt that was the
yeah.
bit that affected me the most in the film, and that was the moment where Thanos became the best character for me, because that was the moment where I
Yeah.
just went, wow, they've characterised him so well, and the tears on his face and the silence as he threw her over with just the music. Sorry, it's just no.
My favourite was just the way they used the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
To
So every
do all
moment.
of- yeah, just the way that they used the Infinity Stones in combat.
Agreed.
That was
Very
my
good.
favourite thing about it. Stacey.
Oh, God.
I got an easy win, like Thor. Nailed it.
You gotta give us another one.
Try to think of a more interesting one than
trying
that
to
though.
think.
Because that's obvious. That's a really obvious favourite moment.
Okay, my favourite moment was all the interactions with Thor and Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
There was
rabbit.
good.
Rabbit.
But the best moment was Red Skull.
Oh,
Because it was just
okay.
such a surprise.
Yeah,
That it-
that's fair enough.
I just didn't see it coming. It came right out of left field. And I was very surprised. So,
Okay.
I'm not saying it was objectively the best
Oh,
part,
no,
but
the best moment is when Bucky died and I looked at Stacey and she hit me.
justice for Bucky Barnes!
Trying think
coming up with
I think
one
something
more.
different. Iron Man calling that guy Squidward.
Yeah. First, best moment. Squidward.
But also, genuinely, what I would absolutely love. So I would say my favourite characters from this were Thor and Doctor Strange. With Thanos, like, probably below.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, with the fact that you just saw all his powers and all the shit that
so
he
good.
used, and it was just, I thought it was really cool. 'Cause
That
I think
moment where the music changed and his arms went weird. Oh, so good.
like Thanos was using the Infinity Gauntlet against him, and he was holding it
Holding his
off.
own for a bit,
He was holding his fucking own against it. So I was like,
He has a
damn.
lot of powers that mimic abilities of the stones. Like he has his teleportation abilities, and he has the ability to, you know, use the mirror universe against the reality stone and stuff like that.
Did
like,
you clock
he
that
can do
bit
stuff.
when he tried to trap him in the mirror universe?
Yeah, and he blocked
then
the reality.
blocked it?
Blocked it with the reality
Yeah.
stone.
It was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, and Scarlet Witch having to kill Vision. That bit,
Yes,
that bit there, just when he looked at her and he was like, "It's okay," and then says, "I love you," and goes. I'm like,
Oh, we're never going to finish this review. There's so
When
much.
he brought Vision back in your watch.
that was.
Yeah, I always hate I love you moments in films, but that one felt good. And then when he brought it back and did it,
That I think like made me.
I hate corny romance shit. I hate it, but there's. You felt it, and
Did
you
this
just
movie
like
have any?
you could never hurt me. Is
Even
what
like
he says.
Quill and Gamora, like that was brilliant.
never corny.
It's always good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, you can never hurt me.
I've changed
and
in my
he
mind.
doesn't look scared or anything as is happening. He's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
You need to do this. You're the
All I
only one who
feel
can."
is you.
Oh, that's the line! And you're like, fuck hell, that's good. That's damn
I've
good.
changed my mind about my favourite bit. No, my favourite bit is the whole fight sequence with Doctor Strange and Iron Man.
Oh, that's good.
When Peter turns up and right at the start against Squidward and the other guy.
yeah, all right, okay, you know that's a good idea.
That's an underrated fight scene. I think that
myself in your eyes now.
that fight scene.
Yeah,
will get
because
this,
Red
I
Skull
think.
was probably my least.
It was objectively the worst part of the film, but it was just such a shock. I just
No, I
loved
know
it.
it was fan service, and if you're a massive fan, I
Yeah.
can see why that'd be
Yeah.
good.
It was just.
So, yeah.
I
Dan,
give this movie 6 out of 6 Infinity Stones.
Fair enough.
That is reality. Just give me some space. I need time! It hurt my soul! What are the other ones? I don't have enough power!
reality? Have we done
them all?
Have we done reality?
Anyway, we hope
been
you
trying
enjoyed
to-
our complete piece of shit review of the Infinity Stones. Infinity Stones.
Oh, Infinity
I'm
War.
so worked up.
So we hoped you guys enjoyed Infinity War as much as we did and saw it even more times than we already have, and probably we will definitely see it more. Let us know what you thought about it. Drop us an email. Check us out on Facebook at Let's Try Roleplay. Drop us a tweet for anyone who has Twitter, again at Let's Try Roleplay, or email us at letstryroleplay@gmail.com.
That's it. No spaces, all lower caps.
All lower caps.
Oh Lord.
Send us a photo of your favourite Infinity Stone. Naked.
Send us all your Infinity War memes.
Send us
Please
your
send
Infinity
me the
Stones.
memes.
Send Infinity Nudes. Hashtag Infinity Nudes. Let's make it a thing.
Please don't wait a thing.
And thank you very, very much for listening to our ramblings, for our complete nerding out for the past God knows how long. It's been a blast. I can't wait to see you again.
See you next Sunday for more D&D. Bye bye.